Time kind of got away from me because I don't know if y'all remember, but my husband got a projector and he like we don't actually have a so he got a projector and I was like watching stuff on it, right? And time just got away from me and also it was like rainy, so I fell asleep. But anyway, um I don't know if this is going to be like 30 minutes, like an hour, but it's going to be shorter than normal. So just be aware of that as we go into this. That's fun. Yep. So it's going to be super short. I just wanted to come on, read a few things, catch a few things. So, but it's probably going to be a little short. Hold on. I will be very shocked if it actually reaches an hour. But anyway, let's see. What the hell? No, not that story. Cabin of Secrets? What? No, that doesn't really look good. Hmm. This is, has anyone else had a similar experience to the long story, but I just don't even want to go through it. Huh? Oh, she's finally explaining the acorns. Do we need to, like, keep them, or can we save them, or, like, what is going on? I'll have to see if they're, wow, I'm totally blanking. If they're, like, at all important, I guess. Ooh, 5 days ago from VC Forever 155. My new perfect apartment is haunted. I'm 90% sure that my new apartment is haunted. Little things are just off. I'll come back from class and my blinds will be drawn. I mean, let me pause and say, please make sure someone's not sneaking into your apartment. Like, maybe an old resident has a key or there's someone living there you don't know about. Like, please check that. I'm not saying ghosts don't exist. I'm saying please make sure it's not a living person first. Anyway, I swear I hear whispers when I'm about to go to bed. Okay, yeah, yeah. That could go either way though. And have felt tugging and touching on my fingers while tossing and turning in the middle of the night. That one's a little less ambiguous because I don't think a person would be that bold. Lastly, I feel like I'm being watched, like there's someone or some animal looming over me. I've never experienced anything like this before. It's a really nice apartment in a safe part of town. I'm afraid if stuff like this keeps happening or gets worse, I'm going to have to give it up because I can't deal with this. Has anyone else dealt with something like this, or does anyone have advice? I don't know anything about ghosts or the paranormal. Okay, but more terrifying for me would be if it was like a living person who was like in her apartment and like because she said it's in the quote unquote nice part of town, but if the area had been gentrified, there could be someone like homeless or transient living in like her attic, um her wall, the next apartment over if it's connected somehow, her closet, like all that shit has happened to people, or even just under her bed, because how many people actually look under their bed? Like, I'm just saying, like, it could be like a living person instead of a ghost, which is why I'm telling her to like check and make sure it's not someone in the land of the living, because that shit always freaks me out way more than spirits, personally. Anyway, what's Isabel saying? Tree's bounty recipe. Okay. And then what did Magic Cat say? Update on the blood wall. They covered it now. How am I supposed to show my kids and grandkids? This is why they say pictures last longer. Not even trying to be an asshole. Hmm. Wait, I thought he said something about a whatever. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna we're just gonna chill and read ghost stories, and I'm gonna try to catch stuff. So the usual, I guess. More of the usual. Today was weird. In what way? What happened? Or didn't happen that made it weird? Oh shoot, I'm too far over. There we go. Let's find something else. Something about a terrifying encounter. A? A? Something about they were intrigued about haunting stories, so they went on a journey there. I feel like this is gonna be good, but I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let's see what this message in a bottle is. Okay, this isn't that long. You know how you get so bored during commercials? That's when I came up with this recipe to share with you since you found this bottle. That's just weird, but okay. Thanks, I guess, girlie. Wait, it's a bathtub? Why though? The haunting of, is it Dow? It's D-O-W, I assume. Because, like, when they talk about the stock market and say, like, the Dow Jones or whatever, isn't it spelled that way? I feel like it's spelled that way too, but I could be misremembering. Anyway, they said they had a terrifying encounter, so intrigued by tales of eerie occurrences and restless spirits that pervaded the sinister landscape of Dow Hill, I embarked on a journey to, oh, I'm gonna butcher this, Kursong, West Bengal. Yeah, I'm sure I just fucked that all up, but it's okay. It's okay. What did we expect? You know, English speaking American. We screw everything up. The place had an eerie aura. Oh, they're already starting off saying the vibes were rancid. I'm not here for this. With mist-draped trees that whispered unsettling secrets in ghastly incoherent language. Are they trying to write a novel? Because this is just a little too, like, I don't even know. Can something be too poetic? I'm just sitting here like, are you writing a novel? Like, what on earth? Oh, I don't have enough wood. Okay, I'm gonna have to shake down some trees. Come here, tree. Okay, Dow Hill's beauty was marred by an underlying dread that earned it a reputation as one of the most haunted places in India. Okay. As I entered the hill, the mist thickened into a suffocating shout. Yeah, this sounds like a fucking novel. Something about a schoolgirl ghost? And I guess they said a headmistress when it was a school killed a student. Yeah, I'm not reading all this, but like, I'm just like, this sounds like a novel. Even if it's a real experience, you're just being way too like, it's like purple prose. It's just like so poetic. Like, I just can't. Oh, look, this person says a ghost touched them. Hey, last night I couldn't sleep. It was sometime past 4 a.m. I watched stream and tried to fall asleep. Oh, they're like you, Magic Cat! Closed my eyes, and after 5 seconds, I felt someone touch me right between the eyes. Never happened to me before, but it was clearly a touch. Opened my eyes and started freaking out. Still can't forget. That's it. That's all there is to it. Huh, that's a lot of acorns. Someone's saying, oh, they're just trying to tell you to trust your third eye. But, bro, I don't think anyone wants to be, like, randomly touched at night. Just saying. Anyway, let's see what Magic Cat said. Sat on the floor in Granny's house in the living room, suddenly felt a soft breeze behind me as if someone was standing there. Aw, probably Granny coming to see you, honestly. It was just Granny. You're right. It's Granny. Or one of her guardian spirits or whatever. I mean, you didn't feel like intimidated or in danger, did you? You felt safe? Like, it's gotta be Granny or one of her spirits. Or at least one of a family member or like associated spirit that's like familiar with you and doesn't mean you any harm. Also, I totally forgot to get my water. I heated it and then I just didn't get any like a dumbass. Great, fun. Um, okay, here we go. You felt it felt somewhat taller than you. I mean, aren't you short and in a wheelchair? Of course it's taller than you. Well, no, you said you're on the floor. You said you're on the floor anyway. But I mean, it feels taller than you is kind of a specific feeling, so I guess that part doesn't really matter. Like, if it's taller, it's taller. It doesn't matter if you're standing. Ignore the sound of the water heating up and, like, frothing. Because I forgot to take something. So I'm doing it now. Okay. Cool. So I don't know if we're supposed to, like, sell the acorns, keep the acorns, use them in recipes, like if they're important. I don't really know. You said a lot taller. Oh. Like inhumanly tall? Because if that's the case, then it could have just been one of the, like, family spirits. Because it didn't sound like your granny was that tall. Right? Gran's not that tall. There we go. I kept fishing around back there for it and I couldn't find it. Oh, fuck it. I don't even. Oh, it's right here. I mean, a spirit's height doesn't have anything to do with its moral alignment, so it doesn't necessarily mean like it's a good spirit, it's a bad spirit, it's an angel, demon, jinn, whatever. Um, it's just tall. Like, it doesn't mean anything bad, especially if you didn't feel like intimidated or in danger. Like, I genuinely don't think if you didn't feel some kind of way that it was like gonna do anything harmful. Like, it's kind of just there. It's just vibing. It's vibing. You're vibing. You said other than that, it was fine. Yeah, it didn't seem like it meant anything by it. That's the thing. Like, it didn't at all seem like it meant anything negative by it. Because you said you felt fine. Like, you didn't feel scared, you didn't feel intimidated, you didn't feel in danger. It was just kind of there. I mean, I guess another option is like a local land spirit just being curious, but I feel like you would have met it before if that was the case. Because me and my husband, when we've been out, like, hiking and walking and different things, we have come across like local land spirits who just they get curious and they want to see like who's coming through and what you're doing. It's I don't want to say it's their way of saying hello because it's not like they're just like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Unless they are, but they just kind of pop up. Not that we can see them. I mean, some people can, but we can't see them. We can sense them though. Yeah, we were both just like, we looked at each other and we were thinking the same thing. It was like, do you feel something? Yeah, I feel something. It feels like a spirit, right? Yeah. It feels like it's over there. Yeah. Like, you're just talking to each other, like, just confirming each other's sensations. Because we can both sense spirits. And we can't see them, but we can kind of get like a mental impression of what they're supposed to look like. Kind of like when you're like describing what someone looks like to a sketch artist, like obviously they haven't seen who you can see, but based off of like just like general characteristics, you can get an idea of what someone is supposed to look like, sort of, if that makes sense. It's like that, except it's like mental, spiritual, like feedback, I guess. I don't know. It's like sensing what's supposed to be there, and you kind of like get an idea of it, you get an impression of it, but you can't like see with your eyes. So you said it just creeped me out that it was tall. It does because it happened to me. Okay. You're saying what I said makes sense because, like, you couldn't see the thing either, but you got an impression of, like, hey, it's tall and vaguely this shape. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people who experience spirits don't, like, physically see them with their physical eyes, you know? I mean, some people have said they can, but most people, they don't, like, see with their physical eyes. Like they either see with their like mental, spiritual, like psychic eye, what the fuck ever you want to call it, third eye, or they get like a general like vague impression of hey, this feels like an old man with like a beard. You know? Like if you heard someone's voice over the phone and you'd be like, this sounds like a little old lady. Kind of like that. It's like it's just like an impression. So you got an impression of it being taller than you, even though you couldn't see it. Like it makes total sense. Like not everyone has the same depth of sensation or whatever, same experiences, but I am curious about like what slash who the spirit was and why it was there checking you out. But like, yeah, you said tall and skinny. Yeah, even though you couldn't see it, you're like it felt tall and skinny. Yeah, it's like I do wonder what it was there for, like why it was watching you, why it was checking you out. Cause like sometimes they're just curious and it's not there for a good or bad reason. It's just kind of there, like, hey bud. Like when you go outside and there's just a squirrel in the tree and it's just kind of there and you're both just kind of doing your thing and it's not really there for you and you're not there for it. It's like that, but but with spirits. Yeah, you can absolutely have a interaction like that. Not like romantically checking you out, just seeing like who's there and what they're doing. I mean, I guess a spirit could be romantically checking someone out, but that's not at all what I meant. I just meant getting the lay of the land, scoping it out, being like, huh, someone's here. Who's here? What are they doing? Like, spirits get curious too. They're just like people, you know. I mean, hell, they are technically people. They're just, not human. The barrel, really? Remonter Yeah, I butchered that. 5 days ago, the barrel. This story comes from a Haitian American friend of mine who heard it from one of her aunties living on the island. Gotta love the auntie stories! Whether it's a folk tale, a description of a real incident, or a bit of both, no one can say. Yolande, Yolande with an E. Okay, well, I mean they are like French francophone stuff, so that makes sense. Oh god, I'm probably gonna be butchering so much shit because of that. Anyway, was a young woman living in a rural part of Haiti, recently married. She'd gone to visit her mother and unmarried sisters in a nearby small town one afternoon and gotten so caught up in their gossip she lost track of time. Though it was now getting dark, she knew she'd have to go back home as soon as she came, walking a couple of miles through a heavily forested area. On top of that, she'd probably arrived to a husband irritated that dinner wasn't ready. What, is he incapable of feeding himself? He can fuck off. Um Like, it's not that big of a deal to have to fix dinner one night because your wife was seeing her family. Like, damn, son, grow up. Uh, anyway, but neither of those things bothered her really. She'd traversed this forest safely many times and was perfectly capable of whipping up a fast meal if necessary. After bidding her family goodbye, she set off on her journey, having removed her visiting shoes not only to keep them from getting dirty, but because she felt she moved faster barefoot. She had no fear of stepping on snakes, since Haiti, which shares the island of Hispaniola and the Dominican Republic, is one of the few places on Earth that has no venomous ones. Yeah, but getting bit by a snake hurts like a bitch. It doesn't matter. Like, well, of course it matters if it's venomous because you're not gonna like die in 5 minutes if it's not. But that shit hurts, and a bite from any creature can get infected. So I wouldn't say it's not a big deal. Like you could probably die from sepsis if you just let an infection from a snake bite lapse. But anyway, let's see, swap. About half an hour in, she happened to notice something rather out of place: a barrel just sitting by itself on the side of the footpath. That's definitely a little weird. The vibes are kind of off there, Yoli. Maybe you don't want to peek into this shit. Um, Now, why would someone leave that there? She wondered. If they'd been using it to harvest something, surely they would have taken whatever it was with them to prevent it from being stolen. I mean, not everyone has common sense, but yeah, you would think. Something about the barrel just didn't seem right. She said the vibes were off, but nighttime in a forest certainly wasn't the time or place to think about it. She kept walking. Later, with still about a half hour's walk, she began hearing an odd sound behind her that sent her senses to high alert. Was someone following her? She thought about calling out and possibly getting a reassuring response from a fellow traveler or keep quiet and speed up. Something told her to choose the latter. Yeah, I feel like calling out to some random noise in the middle of the woods on your walk home at night kind of feels like the move a white girl in a horror movie would make, but maybe that's just me. Soon, though, the sound came closer and she noticed it wasn't another set of feet on the hard packed earth, but rather a sort of rolling rumble. One possibly made by a barrel on its side. Could it be the one she'd seen earlier? If so, who was rolling it? Turning around, she saw it was indeed the barrel following her with no one behind it. A believer in spirits, she quickly concluded one of them was responsible for the movement and began running as fast as her legs could carry her. What, is it gonna just mow her down with a barrel? Dude, why? That would be wild. What would be the point? I'm just sitting here trying to figure out why. Why would that happen? Dear God, she prayed, please protect me from whatever's rolling that barrel, and I promise I'll never stay late in town again. But as she ran, the barrel rolled faster, even navigating a sharp bend in the road as though it were sentient. What would happen, she wondered, if it caught up with her? Would the spirit capture her in it and drag her to hell? This possibility terrified her, so that when the last few yards of the forest path took a downward trajectory, she tripped over a root and nearly fell, while the barrel simply picked up momentum. Emerging from the dense woods, she began screaming, Jean, Jean, help me, hoping to rouse her husband from their small cottage. Luckily, he heard her and came running, and armed with a broom. He brought a broom. I dead ass thought they were gonna say he brought a machete or something. What's wrong? He asked. I'm being chased by that barrel, she said. I think there's an evil spirit in it. What barrel? I don't see one. It's right behind me. I see nothing. Hearing that, she turned around, and lo and behold, there was no barrel, nor was one found in a search of the forest the following day. Interesting. That definitely sounds like more of a folk tale, but it's so fascinating, isn't it? What'd you say, Magic Cat? Hold on, something about. You said I used to live there. Dot dot dot. Yeah, so the spirit could be new or traveling or just had never met slash talked to you. Or it could have been there the whole time and you just never noticed. I mean, not to creep you out, but you do realize spirits watch you all the time and not everyone always notices them. So it doesn't mean that they're like creeping on you or like malicious, but they're kind of everywhere. It doesn't mean that a place is haunted, but there's definitely like spirits everywhere, so. Gross. Well, I think we already have another net though, don't we? Or is that both of our nets? That is both of our nets. Okay. You said so spent time with you suddenly spirit want to check me out, huh? What? No. Are you insinuating that I had a spirit stalk you? Because that is not the case. I wouldn't do that. Besides, why would I need to? I'm gonna go get some more water. Genuinely, why would I need to? That hot water's helping a little bit. I went to get some more. For my safety. Aww, so cute. Would you ever think of befriending a spirit? Genuine question. Not to sound totally sus, because I'm definitely not a spirit, but would you ever think of befriending a spirit? Yeah, I realized that made me sound like a spirit, but I'm not, so. Which is also totally a spirit thing to say, but that's not the point! Didn't I have two shovels in here? Ah, yes, there you are. Hey, you don't discriminate. No, don't, not over here, over here. Okay, well, not there either. Hold on. God, I was having a time trying to get it at the correct angle. Come on. I'm alone sometimes and talk to myself for comfort, you said. Aw. I feel like I feel like that's pretty common. Like as much as people try to act like, "Oh, that's crazy." Like I feel like that's pretty common. Like I feel like plenty of people knowingly talk to themselves in like a non-creepy way, you know? Hmm. Let me see if I can lure it down here. What in the hell? There we go. What's that say? House on a graveyard update. Jesus Christ. That's gonna freak out Magic Hat. To be fair, I feel like there's a lot of people that would freak out just the thought of their house potentially being on a graveyard. But yeah, I feel like there's plenty of people that would freak out. So last time I ended my post, I thought I was seeing things, but it could have been my own imagination. I am so curious and I so deeply want to read the other post. Oh my god. I don't think they actually link to it though, so I don't know. I mean, I guess I could look on their profile to see what they last posted, but I was unsure. We had told a few friends, but no one would believe us. And I also finally told my wife that I had noticed my daughter's what I had noticed in my daughter's room, but was unsure if it wasn't influenced by my own paranoia. Well, two events happened since my last post. First off, we have two dogs. They never randomly bark or respond to anything, so that's what confuses me on these experiences. Okay. As I said in my last post, hold on. My daughter, without fail, will hop into our bed at about 3 a.m. plus or minus 30 minutes. Like I said in the past, I'm not sure if it's a learned behavior, but that thought was worth noting. I suppose I know that that's typically thought of as one of the witching hours. Hmm. As in, like, an hour just, like, known for supernatural events. Nope, that's definitely gonna be the wrong angle. This is so stupid. I can't get the right angle for this stupid fucking fish. Like I said in the past, I'm not sure if it's learned behavior. Right, read that part. Well, the other night I was outside with my daughter talking with my sister, okay? Suddenly, my wife burst outside with my son in hand. In a scared tone, she said she heard one of my son's toys go off. She'd heard the toy and looked up and saw a black mass flying across the door of my daughter's room. It matches up with what I've been seeing. My only fear is, since I told her what I've been seeing, that she may have been influenced by it. The mind works in mysterious ways. The second experience, it was late at night. I walked into the kitchen and felt like I'm being watched. That's what's weird about this house is no matter what we see, we may feel a little uncomfortable, but we never feel threatened by whatever is here. Well, I guess that's a positive. Even my wife, who jumps at the sight of her own shadow, says she doesn't feel threatened. Oh, she's a scaredy cat like Magic Cat. Okay. Um, says she doesn't feel threatened. Right. Anyways, I walk into the kitchen. I see what looks like a shape of a head behind the side of the fridge. It disappeared as soon as I saw it. Like I've said, the dogs have never barked and we've never felt threatened. I don't know what to think about all this, but I'll update as more happens. I kind of want to know what the first one was, but we do have a little bit of context. Anyway, you said, of course, I get dragged into this conversation. I mean, they were talking about how scared the wife is, so it just made me think of you. What message? I missed a message of yours. You said, my only rules, no weird sus spirit and looks like an animal, so don't freak out. No weird sus spirit. I mean, what do you count as like a sus spirit? Just out of curiosity. Okay, let me see. So we have given him a monarch butterfly, and I think that's what we have, correct? I think these are all monarchs. Yep, monarch. Monarch, yep. Make sure I just have the long locust. Okay. This isn't going to be worth too much, but I just want to go ahead and sell it, and then I'll go in the water. Hmm. Realist experience I've had is the next one, but yeah, what'd you say? Bathroom is only for humans, and when sleep time, please don't bother me. Yeah, those are decent rules. We've talked about how it's always creepy when there's like a spirit that wants to lurk in the bathroom because it's like, what kind of sus creepy shit is this? Just pervy ghost. Of course, while all ghosts are spirits, not all spirits are ghosts. So, coral. I'm still on the fence on if I want to sell my acorns. Actually, let me just Google that super fast. Crafting materials. They're used in various items for the Trees, Bounty, or Leaves series and sell for 200 bells each. They can be obtained by. Okay. So, acorns. Wait, hold on. Oh, that's the wild girl price. And they appear during the fall, right? Hmm. I'll think about it then. Because I could also potentially just like craft something with the acorn. It really just depends on how much the item is worth and if it's really worth it to craft an item with acorns or just sell the acorns. You said, and to answer your question, I did get scared by my own shadow once. I knew it. Like, not to be a judgmental prick, but I'm just like, don't you scare very easily? Yeah, you scare pretty easily, so. Which, again, I don't want to be, like, mean about it or something. Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna miss it. Okay, so let me just go back to my house for a second. Waiting. Hold on, I didn't mean to do that. So that's my little diving outfit. I'm gonna put... I swear I just junked this corner up with stuff I wear commonly. Alright, let's look at storage to see how many acorns I have. Also, I got a lot of these things recently. So I have 15. Hmm. I'll sell the next 20 I find. But right now I've saved about 30, so. I love how you said you quote, "You're a puss but open to some spirit stuff." That is funny. You're like, "I'm not that brave, but I'm still curious." Excuse me. Okay, how long is this? So this is by Muffin Training, 60 Corgis from 7 days ago, the realest experience I've ever had. Hi everyone, I've had experiences before, but could always explain it away. Cold spots, footsteps, shadows, etc. As a kid, I lived in a house I believed was haunted and had a lot of strange instances. Hold on. Didn't truly believe it until I talked to my stepmother at the time and said that she had had experiences as well. My father is a skeptic. Hmm. My father is skeptic as hell, but even he said that place had something wrong with it. Whatever, could say it was just because I was a kid. Cold spots can be many things, yada yada. So with this, I've always believed in spirits, but had never truly felt like I had a fully transparent experience. That was until a few years back. My friends and I were all 19 at the time and were at one of my friends' houses. It was just the three of us, and we had been friends since we were really young, so we are all, well, very close. It was very late, and one of my friends said, let's call them Nate, owner of the house, had fallen asleep. So it was just my one friend, and I left. All of a sudden, she's getting messages from Nate's family that he needs to check his phone because they need to talk to him. Long story short, Nate's mother had gotten into an accident and passed. Aww. We stayed until his family came over and then headed back to give him some space. One friend and I, let's call him Oliver, went back to the house and sat in the car and talked. We were in shock and wanted to be together to work through the tragedy. Sorry if it sounds silly, but I'm not quite sure how to preface that moment. Oliver and I kept talking about how we love Nate's mom and we're praying for her, saying how much everyone cares for her and how we can't believe she's gone. All of a sudden, my body went haywire, goosebumps all over, and I felt weightless. I then started to feel something rush through me, and tears instantly started flowing. Aw. No control, and it truly felt like an energy floated through me. I turned to Oliver and told him what happened, with tears still running down when they say they watched it. They swore they saw a shadow behind me in the back seat when it first started happening. We both believe it was Nate's mother visiting us to tell us she was okay now. Sorry if this is long winded, but I don't mean to sound insensitive to the very horrible situation. But it's hard to describe that experience as anything other than incredible, like Nate's mom was there saying goodbye. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely what it was. Yeah, it definitely sounds like she was saying goodbye and that she was like listening in and appreciated all of your kind words. At least that's how I would take it. My best friend and I saw a human figure shape shift into a black cat. Really? Interesting. Is this fish gonna take the bait or not? No, it's not taking the bait. God, this is frustrating. I don't know if I'm gonna have more luck with the damn dragonfly or the fish. Holy shit. Anyway, I was wondering if anyone out there has a similar experience because I was wondering what the fuck I saw till my last day on this mysterious planet. There's no room for maybe the light was playing tricks on you or you were just tripping. We were sober. Her headlights were shining right on this thing. The chills I got felt awful because I didn't get the sense that we were supposed to see whatever this was. Hmm. Okay. It was maddening because she refused to talk about it since it scared her so much, and I think she wants to try to forget it happened. Anyway, stay safe, spooky gang. And that was posted by Jasper is adding us? I don't even know. Because if it's adding, then it's not spelled right. But anyway, let's see. Next one's about a shadow person. What'd you say? I canceled my demon hoodie. You did? What brought that on? Was it the shipping? Or was it taking too long or what? Oh, it's one of those. Hold on. So it's probably a crab or a lobster, right? It's too big to be a mantis shrimp, and it's definitely not the tiny shrimp. It's also moving too fast for that. I don't think it's the Venus's flower, whatchamacallit, though. Venus's vase. I don't even remember what it's called. Let me get this first, though. This is probably a slug or a barnacle, but the other thing, that's gotta be some kind of crab, right? Let's try for it again. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't obviously expect that to come, so. Okay, you said you switched it to get a hoodie for BF, kept the bear one since he picked it. Okay, that's really cute and sweet. So, Shadow Person Experience by Lynn82 MD 7 days ago. I've lived in two houses here in Sweden since I moved there in 2006. There's one that I currently live in now, and one I lived in for the first 12 years I lived in Sweden. Okay. In the last post I made about the last house, I talked about the footsteps experience. Today, I'll talk about the only visual I ever had while in that house. Ugh, this is so frustrating. Now, to point out, I didn't experience much activity when I visited the house prior to moving in. I mean, I don't think most people would slash do. This is going to be easier to catch. Okay. It wasn't until 7 years later that I began to experience activity because that's when my first child was born. Well, that's a little creepy. 18 months later, my second child was born. There's a theory that children can cause paranormal activity to increase because they have loads of energy which spirits need to help them manifest. I've never heard that theory. That's interesting. I have been told before that certain spirits do need energy in order to, you know, really interact or have more presence or power. I've just never heard the thing about kids. Like, I just know as far as like ancestor veneration that I was told that my grandmother, for instance, would be able to reach out to me more if I would be able to give her like little offerings like water and stuff because I'd be like caring for her spirit. I don't know how to explain it. So that part makes sense, but I don't know how they make the child connection. I've never heard that. A quick background: the last house we lived in had been my SO's grandfather's house. Jesus. My SO inherited the house after his grandfather died. His grandfather died in the house, as well as the first owner. They both died in their sleep, though when they were over 90, and thus begins my experience. Okay, so nothing too sinister. They most likely just both croaked of old age. So she doesn't have to worry about some kind of fucky sleep demon. It was 4:30 in the morning. Hold on. It was 4:30 in the morning. Okay, not surprised. There are three bedrooms in the house, two downstairs and one up. One downstairs was for the kids, the other was us, and one upstairs has been reserved as a guest room. However, the kids and I would sometimes sleep in that room because it was freezing downstairs. We had a pellet burner, and sometimes the damn thing didn't work right or it ran out of pellets, which I would fill up in the morning as I would have to heat up 16-kilogram bag of pellets, go downstairs to the basement with weak lighting and no railing, which was a safer thing to do in the morning than night, so that would be a reason why the downstairs would be freezing more than up. Upstairs was a little bit warmer. How the hell do I keep missing this? Hold on. My aim is terrible today. There we go. Towards the last few months of us living in that house, my SO would sleep in the guest room so he wouldn't disturb us when he got up to go to work in the morning, which was very early. At the time, he worked at a company that was an hour away from where we lived. This would be the reason we would eventually move to the area we live in now. But then he would wake up early and leave around 4:30 to go to work, where he would be there by 6. That sounds fucking miserable. Did this man go to bed at like 8 to get any rest? He would give himself an extra hour to chill out and shower at his job, since a lot of companies here have showers to use, especially if they are a factory. Really? Sometimes I forget how much nicer other countries are than the US. The US is kind of trash for labor. However, sometimes he would come up and say goodbye to me before leaving. So, one early morning, I awoke to a shadow of someone standing over my bed. I initially thought it was my SO. I reached up to give him a hug and a kiss. However, as I was reaching up, I noticed that the shadow was taller than him. He's about 5'4" to give you an idea. This shadow was at least 6 feet tall. Suddenly, I thought it was a home intruder, so I gave it a punch. I'm surprised Magic Cat hasn't talked about this person abusing spirits yet. My hand went through it. Not only does my hand go through, but the shadow disappears as my fist went through it. Oddly enough, I didn't recall feeling anything like coldness as I did that. Had this been an honest to God person, I would have saw them making a run to the door as they escaped. Hold on. Da-da-da-da-da. Or my fist would have made contact, not vanish. The shadow itself didn't have any features. It reminded me of the face they have on mannequins. Oh. After this happened, I shook my head and went, ugh. Ghosties are at it again and went back to sleep immediately. I have to disclaim that I have a pretty weird reaction to paranormal activity, excuse me, and ghosts in general. I can sense their presence even when they aren't doing anything like moving stuff or footsteps. Oh my god, same. Same. That's the thing. Some people can experience paranormal activity when spirits want to be noticed, and some people can notice spirits even when spirits don't want to be noticed. Kind of like if you watch that show Grimm, where they have the Vesson, and the Vesson are able to hide their true face from most people, but a Grimm can see through that and can see them even when they don't want to be seen and are hiding, whereas they can hide from normal people. It's kind of like that. It's just like not a cool superpower. No, no cool superpowers. Unfortunately, we don't get to be that cool. We're just normal people. Um, we're just normal people otherwise. But yeah, basically in the show they were like, when Vesen Volga, they can do it so like only other Vesen can see, or like so like most people can't see, but they are afraid of Grimms because Grimms can sense slash see them even when they don't want to be noticed. So it kind of makes me think of that, how like some people can just notice spirits even when they're like not doing anything, just minding their own business, you know, being like the wallpaper, blending in. Like they just someone can notice that there are spirits present even if they're like not active, even when they don't want to be noticed, even when other people don't notice them. Like that's a thing. Anyway, um anyway, they said I can sense their presence even when they aren't doing anything like moving stuff or footsteps. So when they do something like that or what they did here, I'm not surprised. I just mutter egg ghosties and ghost doing it again and go about my day. However, the irony of me seeing that shadow person in that room, that's the room where my SO's grandfather died. Oh. I wonder if you like high key punched his grandpa. Could have just been grandpa looking in on the kids and then you just like try to gut punch him. That's kind of funny. Ghost played with my hair when I was younger. Oh, that would terrify Magic Cat. That's from 8 days ago. Tay likes daisies. Posted it. Yeah, that sounds like something that would scare the crap out of Magic Cat. So this was a couple years ago, not too much, like around 5 or 6 maybe. So when I was younger, it took me some time to fall asleep, so I wouldn't just stare at my ceiling and think about different stuff. Wait, you would or wouldn't? Oh, you would, okay. I share a room with my sister. She's younger though, and I heard her sleeping, so it wasn't her. And I also have two brothers, but they were 2 years old at the time, so of course they were sleeping, and my bed was higher off of the ground. So it was that night I was waiting to fall asleep, and suddenly I hear someone in my room. Hold on. I don't remember anyone opening the door, and it was an adult. Whoever that was pretty tall. He or she, you can't just say they, didn't have to use a ladder. They misspelled ladder. Great. Um, mm, hold on. Didn't have to use a ladder to reach me, so it wasn't a kid. So at first I thought it was my mom or dad checking on me and my sister to see if we're sleeping or to open the window. So I pretend that I was asleep, but it was really dark, so I opened my eyes but only saw a shadow, not a face. Of course, because it was dark, it was really close to me, and I thought it was my mom, but it wasn't. That thing took some of my hair and started brushing them on my cheek, like with a paintbrush. So that wasn't my parents, but why would they bother a kid in the middle of the night when I'm supposed to sleep? I asked them, and they said no, plus they usually sleep as soon as my brothers sleep. So later that so later that thing went to my legs. Ceiling is low because the roof is lower. And this doesn't really make a lot of sense. And that thing, I guess they're saying they sat there, but there's like some typos. That thing sat there perfectly straight. That part was also around 1 meter tall, so an adult should sit down or kneel down, but excuse me, kneel down to be there, but that thing was standing up straight, and after that, I don't remember a thing. I know it was real, it wasn't a dream. I mean, I can't explain the height, except that all adults look super tall when you're that young. Um, but my mind just immediately went to, I hope no one like snuck into your house and was creeping on you when you were laying there. Like, I hope it was a spirit, because otherwise it's way creepier, in my opinion. I know some people are more scared by spirits, but it's creepy to me thinking that it could have just been some guy, like some creepy stalker or like, just some weirdo or like some crazy. Like that is more creepy, more terrifying to me than it just being some rando ghost. Magic Cat sending the raccoon. Okay, let's see. Magic Cat said, I imagine the spirit feeling disgusted seeing them giving a hug. Joke's on you, I like getting my hair messed with, but ghosts don't get any ideas. I don't even know what was up with that, yo. Like, we can only hope it was a ghost because the alternative is way creepier. The alternative is someone breaking into your house just to play with your hair. So, you decide what you find creepier. Oh crap! Hold on. Excuse me. Why? Hold on. Getting a cough drop. What'd you say, Magic Cat? Ghost just wanted to help. Help with what? You used to not be able to sleep much if your hair wasn't messed with, really? I don't really know how to feel about that. No, Jesus Christ, I just wanted to fill in the hole. That's not what I. Okay, whatever. Oh. Oh well. I didn't know it was gonna be there. mm, nah, I don't really. That one, I don't like that one. Let's find another one. Hearing, seeing, and experiencing things. Okay. Lost inspections. Some of y'all's names are so weird. 5450. I don't know if this is the right place to post since I don't have any video or picture to prove it. Nah, this subreddit doesn't need that. Um, but I've had strange things happen that I can't explain and don't know who to talk about it without sounding crazy. Let me just begin to say that it's very weird that people think you just conveniently have your camera rolling every second of every day just in case you see something paranormal. Like, that's not realistic. That's not gonna happen, y'all. Most of the time, people aren't going to have video proof because why would you randomly have your camera out every second of every day? Anyway, I try to explain what happened without it getting too confusing. The first occurrence was in about 2018. I was babysitting my niece who was a little baby at the time. While she was taking a nap behind me on the couch, I was sitting on the ground watching TV, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a lady in an 1800s type dress just staring at me and took a step toward me. But the moment I looked over at where she was standing, she was gone. The rest of that day I was there, I could see figures walking past the corner of my eye, but never when I was looking directly at where they were. The second time, I was sitting in a different apartment my sister lived in. Is your sister the one that's haunted? And I heard someone calling my name, and it sounded like an old lady, and my niece came running in saying she's calling for you. My sister and her boyfriend were in the room too, but they didn't hear anything, and no one else was in the apartment. Interesting that the kid heard it. The last time something really strange happened was in 2020. My sister died? Jesus. That escalated quickly. And we had shirts made with her picture and name on it. The night of the funeral, I took the shirt off and put it on the back of a chair with her picture facing up. I closed the door and went to sleep in my niece's room with her. The next morning, I came out. Excuse me. The next morning, I came in my room and the shirt was inside out and on my bed, which was across the room from the chair. A little weird, but not necessarily like. I don't know. I mean, I can't explain that. Something. Bed. I lost my place. Hold on. Okay. Those were the top three occasions really weird things happen, but I do see shadow figures walk by, especially in an old house I used to live in where the owner passed. God, that got dark so fast. I don't know if it's the same sister, but I was just not expecting it. Like, it just suddenly took a turn, and she was like, oh, and my sister's dead. I'm just like, okay. Alright then. Oh, Magic Cat, I guess you mean, like, just comforting and gives a sense of safety. I guess you mean getting your hair stroked. Well, it's supposed to, but I feel like if I randomly felt someone do that in the middle of the night, I'd be a little freaked out. Okay. Belly rubs. Hmm. I have to be in the right mood for a belly rub. Sometimes it gets on my nerves, but sometimes it's soothing. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I flip between being a cat and being a dog. It's very interesting. Oh, found one to scare Magic Cat. Yeah, when your stomach hurts or like me personally when I have cramps or something, even though obviously it can't like directly massage anything, it's always so soothing. It's just so nice. Yeah, or even just when you're like nauseous or something. It's like it doesn't really help, but in a way it also does, but like more of the psychological aspect because they can't physically get at what's hurting you. Mm. I mean, they're not for everyone, just like some people don't like their hair being messed with. Like I have to kind of be in the right like mindset or the right space. Like I don't like people touching my head or my hair. There's like one person I let touch my hair. I mean, it doesn't really help anyone else that it's generally covered, but I don't like people to like mess over my hair. Interesting. Hmm. I just don't like I don't usually like head stuff, but I also do really like head scratches and head rubs from my favorite person. So, but yeah, when there's nothing that can physically help, sometimes just the very presence of something mentally soothing makes the experience less awful. Mm. Let's see. I can never get over Reddit names. Apathetic, desperate. Like I'm never gonna get over Reddit names. I'm just not. Let's see if we can get this fish. Oh, nope, nope, it's gone. Okay. Well, that's not happening. Ooh, okay. We might have a better chance with this one. It didn't run away. I usually I have better odds of catching the smaller ones for some reason. I don't know why. I love how you said we sound like dogs. A little. A little. Dogs or cats or what else likes getting pets when it trusts you? Like a rabbit or a horse or something. But yeah, I read the title of this one and I was like, Magic Cats might be scared. Saw a very sinister entity at the foot of the bed. For context, this was years ago, but I decided I'd start recounting my experiences, and this seemed like a nice enough community to do it with. I love how they're like, and I'm gonna drop some trauma with spirits. I love that. My BF at the time and I were moving, so things were in boxes and the bed was taken apart. So where were you sleeping? He always had insomnia, but I usually fell right asleep. Okay, see, me and my husband are the opposite. He can stay up, excuse me, he can stay up for like, I don't even know, 2 seconds, and then he's immediately asleep. And then I'm just laying here at like 2:30 being like, please give me the sweet release of slumber, oh sleep god. Anyway, this night things felt off. She said the vibes were rancid, y'all. I was tossing and turning for a good 30 to 40 minutes. He finally asked what's up. I said nothing, but he pressed and I said, I just keep thinking I'm seeing something in the shadows, and he pushed for me to say more, which was unlike him, but I started describing things. What, did he see it too? It was probably 7 feet tall, dark blue, almost black, defined large muscles and sharp teeth. He cut me off and asked, is it dripping and slimy looking? And I said, yeah. Is it breathing really heavy and staring at me? I said, yeah. He said he saw it too and he thought it was impatiently waiting for something. What, like them falling asleep maybe? But then he didn't want to talk about it anymore. Probably because he got scared because you saw it too. I found out later though that a friend that knew him as a teenager that had a weird history with a place out in the country called Stone Church. She described him as a shy kid that didn't have any friends, kind of emo and desperately wanted to be liked by the cool kids. Is this a professional roast? She said, said for fun one night they went out to an abandoned church that was supposed to be haunted and did something really. I guess they did like a ritual as a joke. I don't know. She said, sorry, don't remember the specifics. Crazy things started happening, and at one point the door swung shut and locked him in a room. And she couldn't get in for a few hours, but when he came out, he seemed different. I think by different, you mean traumatized? This was not the guy I knew at all. She said the next day he was forever a changed guy. He was charismatic and made friends everywhere he went. They were like his followers until she mentioned it. I never really realized how much they seemed to worship him. He refused to talk about it, and she clammed up and didn't want to say anything about it after that. That's fascinating. Um, so I thought he was traumatized, but I don't know. You said his friends are jerks. Yeah, I was like, is this a roast? Why does this sound so negative? You said it sounds like an episode of Supernatural, kind of. It's funny because, like, Magic Cat really likes. Hold on. I'm trying to juggle a cough drop. Magic Cat really likes ghost stories, but also gets really scared. So it's always funny to, like, to find some that are super interesting because she wants to hear them, but she's also terrified. I don't know how to explain it. She really likes supernatural stuff, but she's also, like, really jumpy. I don't know. And I'll ask her, like, hey, do you want me to stop? And she'll be like, no, keep reading. I'm just like, okay. You said you need the pain. Are you, like, scared too, but interested in spirits, or what's going on? Because I know for Magic Cat, she's scared, but still interested, which is infinitely funny to me. Well, I always ask to make sure you're still comfortable listening. You said that's your impression of Magic Cat. More power to her. Oh, needing pain is your impression of Magic Cat. I mean, it's. Is it wrong though? Is it wrong? Can I just catch the stupid thing? What is it? Really? It's a little umbrella octopus. I didn't realize it was such an asshole. I need to find 20 acorns. So that's going to be fun. Oh, I found the first post by What's Their Face. I don't think you were here yet, but they were talking about how they found out their house is built on a graveyard. I would immediately want to move. Just saying. It was already too much for me, and I don't even live there. It's like I'm not like I'm not as like what's the word? Jumpy as Magic Cat, but I feel like I wouldn't want to live there cuz I feel like you would never get any rest cuz I feel like they would always be doing something. You know? Like what are you supposed to do with that? I okay. I can't even see my character, y'all. Am I stuck? Oh, there I am. Okay. You enjoy it at times for sure. Oh, pain, because Magic Hat says, listen, I'm still trying to figure out if. I don't even know what to say. It wouldn't surprise me if you enjoyed pain, Magic Cat, because apparently you want me to keep reading even though you're scared, so. But yeah, I feel like even being who I am, it would just be too much to deal with. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it just sounds exhausting. I mean, would you want to live on top of a graveyard? It feels disrespectful too, but you know. I don't know what the whoa is in reaction to. Are we really surprised you like pain, Magic Cat? No. No, we wouldn't be surprised if you liked pain. You said in your mind there's no place that isn't a graveyard. I mean, I'm sure quote unquote everyone's died somewhere, but this was specifically like a place set aside for mass burial, if that makes sense, of people. Yeah, elegant ad 2603. This is what I'm saying. Reddit names are always so weird, but like kind of delightful. I don't know. Like, yes, you're correct. On one hand, everyone's died somewhere, but on the other hand, this was like, how do I explain it? Like, explicitly a burial ground. Like, plots of like, I don't know, 50 people, 100 people, however big it was. Like, I feel like I would not want that. But, you know, to each their own. Maybe some people would really like living on a plot of land like that and having kooky experiences like every second of every day, but it just sounds exhausting to me. But yeah, they said, so some backstory. In Texas, of course it's Texas. Ooh, it's in Texas? Ooh, ooh. Well, as long as it's a regular graveyard, it might not be as bad. I don't know. Because as soon as they said Texas, I was thinking the South, plantations, that's going to have a lot of bad memories and bad energy. But anyway, in Texas, there's a suburb that's just outside Houston that was built in the 70s over an 1800s graveyard, which sounds really sus because why would they do that? They pretty much removed the gravestones but didn't move the bodies. Why? So as time passes and the community gets bigger, they keep finding graves. Gee, wonder why. The most recent graves that were found were about 2 or 3 years ago, and if you go into the forest heading to the lake, you may find a gravestone or two. What the actual hell, y'all? Is nothing sacred anymore? This is a story of a few experiences I've had living here, and FYI, this will be lengthy. Oh, Jesus. Buckle up, bitches. Yeah, I feel like, I feel like I make a lot of segues, but to answer your question, technically, let me just, hold on. Okay, anyway, what was I saying before I had to answer a question privately for Magic Hat. Oh, I know what I was saying. I was gonna say, for me, I just always assume that the South is super haunted for like obvious historical reasons. Like any area where there was like a plantation or any area where there were indigenous people who were like brutally suppressed or chased off their land, that's going to have some serious shit going on. That's all I'm saying. Like that is going to be haunted as fuck. But the South has a lot of ghosts in general for like just various historical reasons. And I just don't see how anyone could say that the South is not super haunted cuz like it is. So, Texas is not an exception. Also, there are parts of the lower United States that were a part of Mexico previously. And, you know, there were wars and there was the whole like treaty of what was it? Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo or something, where like parts of it were like what's the word, ceded to the US. Like there's a lot of history and like blood, and there were like just various wars um on that ground to begin with, and like I'm waiting for this damn thing to drift over. Sorry. I don't know. Like America in general is probably super haunted just because of all the terrible shit we've done in such a short time, but I just feel like the South gets like the brunt of like haunting shit for obvious historical reasons. Oh, is my bag full? Damn it. You said you live in Florida, but it feels confusingly unhaunted compared to other southern states. Huh. I would have to look at the history of Florida. I know there were some indigenous people that lived there, but I'm not clear on what specifically happened to them. I also don't know if Florida had plantations or if it did, if they were as extensive as other parts of the South. I feel like they would have had something going on, but I just really don't know much about Florida. That and it doesn't help that like isn't Florida like sinking or something? Like the level is lowering. Honestly, that may be part of it. That may actually be part of it. What you said. That could in fact be a huge part of why. Because indigenous people tend to know how to deal with indigenous spirits, and when they're not there, I can very easily see something getting out of hand. Even if nothing particularly bad happened to indigenous people on that land, like if they had to leave for any reason, I can see, like, if there's no one there who knows how to deal with the native spirits, that, like, things get out of hand easily. Okay. Ooh, nice. But yeah, did we want to. No, you're good. I mean, sometimes I make little comments and segues. It's okay. We're just explaining why the US slash the South is like so haunted. It's okay. It's okay. Technically, the Florida thing fit in. But yes, the poster said, so anyway, I had no knowledge of this. Bro, you didn't do any research? I had no knowledge of this when I bought my first home in 2019 in this community. We were so excited. Are you not anymore? And I don't know if the real estate agent knew the history of the land or not, probably. So it wasn't mentioned to us. We actually lived there a full year before we started having our experiences. I feel like they would have to know. Are they not supposed to disclose that? That feels kind of like sus. Is that not illegal? Hold on. Anyway, when my wife got pregnant in 2020, we were so excited. It was our first, and so we were outfitting our baby's nursery. On this particular day, I just wanted to build the crib. I'd picked up the heavy box from inside the garage. I went to open the door while struggling to reach the door handle. Suddenly, the door flew open out of my hands, and due to this, I was expecting to see my wife on the other side, but she wasn't there. Dun dun dun. Um, she was still in the nursery. What made this even more weird is that the door was heavy, one that would close under its own weight, and it wasn't a windy day. At this time, I thought it was strange, but really thought nothing of it. The second experience we had in the house actually involves my wife. I was taking a shower and relaxing after a hard day at work. She had gone into the kitchen to start to cook dinner as I showered. She suddenly burst into the bathroom and claimed she saw a shadow heading to the nursery and assumed it was me. Huh. She said she started talking and thought it was odd I didn't reply and looked over and saw no one was there. We would have things move from time to time, but thought we were forgetful and had moved them ourselves, but both of us never remembered moving the item. It wasn't until I bought a second house in the same community and go to rent out the first, hold on, that I learned the history of the community. Oh, that's kind of shitty for you, bro. Not gonna lie. You bought two houses here? I mean, on one hand, wow, wish I had that money. On the other hand, wow, that really sucks for you. Because if people know, they may not want to move into the area. Anyway, guy looking at the house told me he knew of the graveyard, and after the conversation with him, I became curious and started researching. Even finding an Unsolved Mysteries episode about the community and the experiences the people of the community had, as well as the lawsuits that happened. For those wondering, the buyers of the homes lost the cases due to the fact that the graveyard was considered abandoned when the developer took over, so there was no liability to them. Or so, if I understood what I read correctly. That is like super fucked. Okay. Skipping to the next house, it started activity immediately. At this point of time, I had a 6 month old and a toddler. My wife, myself, and toddler were in the living room. My newborn was sleeping in the master bedroom. Suddenly, and with me and my wife both present to see it, a playpen ball flew out of our master and hit the wall. What the actual hell? We both tried to figure out how this could have happened. We looked at air conditioning, if a toy was nearby that could have been launched by the ball, nothing. We couldn't explain how the ball was thrown that hard against the wall. The weirdest thing that happened at 3 a.m. without fail. My 2 year old daughter, who is autistic, wakes and wants to sleep with us. Sometimes she seems like she's scared, sometimes she seems like she's normal. Now I don't know if this is learned behavior or something more, but I feel it's worth noting. Time and again, we think we see shadows and dark masses. My wife says she feels uncomfortable in the kitchen. It's kind of a weird place. I feel like I see things out of the corner of my eye. Now, to be forward, I won't call this paranormal because this could be my own paranoia and makes me question if the small things I see are in my head. And if this is really what we speculate, it doesn't seem malicious. I'll update this if anything major happens. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'd feel some kind of way about someone not telling me. Just because even if you're okay with ghosts in general or spirits in general, I just feel like it's kind of rude for someone not to tell you there's a bunch of dead people under your house. I feel like that's vital to know. Like, don't you feel like people should? Magic Cat's like, nah, it's a normal thing. Yeah, we talk through it most of the time, but it's generally on topic, so I don't mind. I don't know if anyone else minds. And now you're like, Japan's mega haunted too. Do you live in Japan or are you from Japan? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to. But I can imagine so, just because the folklore and like religion and spiritual history of Japan is just so rich, and there's all this talk about different like spirits, both like the older ones and the newer urban legends. So yeah, that makes sense. I personally just like picking ones that might freak out Magic Cat sometimes when I'm being a little mean. But some of these are actually wholesome. Because it's just like our ghost stories. It's not like our scary ghost stories. So sometimes they're like, and then my Nana visited me one last time. And it's so wholesome. And other times they're like, guys, I think there's a demon in my closet. And there's like no in between. Well, that's not true. There's some like neutral stuff too. There was one about someone experiencing like a phantom jogger who was like running with them or something. But I love how most of the time it's like extremes of just, I think it's watching out for me, or I think it tried to kill me. I don't know. Well, it doesn't help that some people probably feel threatened or intimidated by spirits, even if the spirit's not trying to be threatening or intimidating, because people are scared. But people are always like, I'm scared, y'all. Or it's totally wholesome, and they're like, and the ghost of my dog. Like, there's just. It's funny to see the extreme difference and the tone of some of these. You're not gonna answer that. That's fair. That is fair. Like I don't give out anything besides like saying I'm American, so that's fine. I feel like people would notice anyway because of my accent, but I don't know. I don't actually know what I sound like. You said, "Oh, great, magic is a target." No, of course you're not. What do you mean you think it'd be cool to be killed by a spirit? Are you okay? Hold on. She's gonna flounder in the water for a second because I have to see what my husband said. We still have the. He's asking about dinner. Okay. I love that she looks like she's deep in thought. You said, it's more of when I do inevitably go, it'd be a cool way to go, not that I'm looking for it. I suppose. It's certainly not as lame as drowning in an inch of water or something. Do you know you can drown in an inch of water? You really don't need that much water to drown. Like, literally, if you got knocked out or fell asleep or you were paralyzed or drugged or something, whatever the case may be, you can drown in an inch of water. It doesn't have to be that deep. There just needs to be enough to get into your lungs to where you can't breathe. Isn't that fucked? So yeah, definitely a lame way to die. Just saying. Help you pick a color for your boyfriend, right? Well, you can either go with a color that you like on him or go with a color that he likes on him. Which sounds super weird, but that's the best way I can think of explaining it. Like, for instance, if you think red looks really good on him, you can pick red. Or if he really likes red or thinks it looks good on him, you can pick red, kind of thing. Also, what else is on this hoodie? I feel like we need to know the thematic significance of the hoodie. Like, is it just a plain hoodie? Is there a picture? Is there a character? Are there words? Love how we went from Ghost to helping Magic Cat pick out a hoodie, but it's fine because I'm not actually reading a story right now. I'll do that one next when I actually read again, but I want to chat for a little bit. Oh, I should have asked you what the actual color options were. Because if it's a custom hoodie, some shops only carry certain colors. I might be special. Oh, crap. Hold on. He's picky. Great. That's totally not going to be difficult. Not at all. I am so glad that's not me. No offense. Because I'd be afraid of messing up if he's that picky. I'd be worried about messing up. Well, yeah, but does the product provider carry a certain array of colors? Because I know, for instance, if you try to buy like a shirt or a hoodie or sweater or whatever on Etsy, sometimes they're like, oh, I only have red, blue, and green or something. Oh, Magic Cat's trying to custom make a hoodie for her boyfriend. Ugh, two tone. Ooh. Hmm. To be fair, one of my favorite hoodies, it's actually my husband's hoodie, which is probably a stereotype, but whatever. Um, because it's so much roomier for me. Like it's bigger because like it wasn't made for me. Like it's slightly bigger, and it's just this very soft material, and it's like black with red on it, which is like one of the most basic combinations ever. So whatever. It's just so nice. So you're buying a plain one for someone else to decorate later, or you're buying two different hoodies. Am I slow or did I miss something? I'm trying to figure that out. Ooh, an I am enough hoodie. Okay. You are, by the way. You're enough. Whatever that amount happens to be. Probably get. He's still texting me about dinner. I'm sorry. Well, dinner for this week at least. Magic Hat taking the opportunity to be mean for once. You're usually too nice. Just for that, I'm gonna scare you with the man at the window one. Actually, I don't know if it's scary. God, I still remember how scared you got when I read you the that shadow dancer from the graveyard one, where like the spirit caught them watching and like came after them. I want to find something like that that's really gonna scare you again. But yes, please give me the color options so I don't have to pick blind. Okay, man at the window who posted this. Yeah, I'm not reading that out loud. That's yeah, okay. Gotta censor the name. I'm just gonna call them Senzu after the first part. The second part is too explicit. Man at the window. I was raised in the rural South. Oh joy! Haunted ground. Where the shade from the forest cooled our house in the summertime. My childhood bedroom had a large window that started a foot off the ground. Oh, that's way too close for me. I don't like that. And stood about 5 feet tall and nearly 3 feet wide. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like that's too easy for like a real living person to like crawl through. I don't like that. When the sun was out, this window still placed an uneasy feeling in my stomach. I bet. Once the moon rose over our house, the window started watching you, waiting for you to drop your guard. Did you not put up like blinds or something? Or curtains? What manner of threat it actually posed was questionable in reality, if any, but my instincts never really cared for that explanation, and I openly avoided it every night until I finally fell asleep. Bro, cover your window! Finally, no, voice is dying again. Finally, the weather decided to switch from 90s every day to mid 60s every day. The arrival of fall meant one thing for us every year. We would be raking leaves up from the from the year after school most days going forward. Jesus Christ, that sounds miserable. While picking up leaves outside, I saw someone in a brown waterproof coat and camo hat staring at my window. See, that just sounds like a human creeper instead of like a spirit, but you know. While picking up the leaves, right, they saw someone. Okay, I froze, seeing this man staring into my room for several reasons. The first was that while my window was a foot off the ground from the floor inside, it was a solid 6 foot or more from the earth outside. Okay. Let's see. His feet hung loosely and dangled on nothing like a bad Halloween decoration. I love that description, even if it's slightly horrifying. Like a bad Halloween decoration. Bless. Um, but he was standing on nothing, as if someone had hung him by the neck from the roof of our house. I started walking away from him, hoping not to give him any reason to notice me, and luckily he seemed not to. I told my grandfather about the whole experience, and while he firmly did not believe in ghosts, he honored my words as a man that at least that's what I thought I saw. Oh, so he's a dick. A few months later, I saw the exact same man at a gun show acting completely normal. I could see his face a bit better, and he had a scraggly black beard and with white in it, and seemed not to notice me. Are you sure he's not just a regular living creep? Um, that's just a little weird. Talking to my grandfather about it, he decided to try to talk to the man without mentioning the event to see how he was, and he seemed completely normal. Define completely normal, because I feel like that's a little sus. I don't know. I just feel like that's sus. Like it's the same guy. That's sus. That I don't even. That's yeah. I don't think that's a spirit. I think that's sus. Like I still don't know what the fuck is going on, and I never got an explanation, but the anxiety of the window never left me. Girl! Or guy, or other. I swear. I feel like. I feel like this dude was watching you. I feel like he was creeping on you. I don't think that was a ghost. I think you need a restraining order. Anyway, like I guess they were like, "Oh, his feet are dangling or his feet look like they're dangling. He's a ghost." And then they see him like in public. I don't know. Like that just feels like someone's stalking them. That doesn't feel like a ghost. That feels like sus, you know? Is it just me? Cuz that's how it comes off to me. Also, out of the color options, I personally like red, but you should base it off of what he and you like as far as the hoodie, just to like answer Magic Cat, red or black. For real, like I'm sorry, but I got white girl in a horror movie vibes when she was like, I have a 6 foot window that looks into the woods, and I'm like, is this window not covered? Like it was just giving me vibes. If he likes red, do you like red too? Just pick the red one then. It really also depends on what you're planning to put on it to make sure it'll show up. But yeah, I was just like, this is just it's just so shady. It's like it's just shady. It made me think of, have y'all seen the Netflix show You? Where there's that character Joe who just like will literally watch his the object of his affection through like their window, and like the very first one had no curtains, no blinds, just did not give a fuck. And I'm just like, I just literally feel like she's one of those girls in a horror movie. Like, you're a blue lover. Oh, well, you said they didn't even have blue, so yeah, you said they didn't have blue, so it's fine. You both like purple and gray. I guess the gray is a valid option then if you both like it. So gray or red, because you said they didn't have purple, so. They had an ugly blue, you say. That's funny. What do you mean by ugly blue? How bad is it? Also, let me just. I'm gonna sell this and go get some water because you probably heard my voice just like dying off like an extinct species. It just started going away. So yeah, let me just do that. I don't have to like go. I'm just gonna walk across the room, but yeah. If you hear running water, that's why. Because I'm gonna pour some. It's not even just hydration. Like, I'm drinking hot water to try to help because I'm still pretty hoarse. And like, if I talk too much at once or talk for too long, I start losing my voice again. Because I was sick a few weeks ago. And at first I had laryngitis and I just like couldn't even talk at all. Like I opened my mouth, no sound came out. It was just bad. You said you don't like dark blue because it reminds you of a school uniform. There we go, I got the water. Yeah, it's frustrating because I'm not used to my voice failing me like this. It's just really annoying. At least I finally started coughing less. That was just, it just felt so stupid. Also, I'm gonna shake down these trees to see if I can get more, what are they called? Acorns. Just because I want to see if I can get some that I can sell. Because I kept just under 30. You had to wear ugly blue for 12 years, rip. I'm surprised you still like blue after that quote unquote trauma then. Because you said blue was your favorite color. I guess you mean you like a lighter, brighter blue, but still blue. Was that 7 or 8? Because something landed over here. It was 8. Okay, okay. Never mind. So I'm just getting branches right now. I was hoping I would get more acorns. Because I want to save some for like crafting, but I also want to sell some. Or failing that, get enough to craft something I can sell. You said school teaches kids to hate. That's funny. Technically, that wasn't their intention. uh, you like pastel slash baby blue. Yeah, that's fair. It's interesting because, like, someone I get along fairly well with, which is you, likes blue, but someone who I don't get along with at all, who, like, tormented me for most of my life, also likes blue. It's just funny how two very different people can like the same color. My grandmother liked pastels too. Unfortunately, great, here we go again. Unfortunately, um, since I'm mixed, I came out kind of like pale. So some pastel colors kind of like wash me out with my tone. It's like, dang, I wish I could rock that. She really liked pinks and yellows. My grandma did. She was great. Let's see if we can do any better against this. Also, I have a smudge on my screen that looks like a fish, so it trips me up so badly sometimes. Because it looks like there's something to pull up and there's not. I kind of forgot I left all this crap up here. Blue, purple, and pink sounds like a pastel bi flag. Love to see it. Um, I. How in the actual heck? Because that's a real fish. It's moving. Okay. They're kind of finicky. I can't always get in the right spot. Nope. I didn't get it. Nope. Okay. Whatever. I guess I just suck. Mm. I actually also like yellow, but it kind of looks terrible on me. Well, certain shades look especially bad, I guess I should say. I feel like it was more of like something like warm and gold instead of something with cool or jewel tones. It would look better, but yeah. My husband doesn't like certain shades of darker green either. It's very interesting. It's also fascinating because in some cultures and like languages, there's not really a distinction between blue and green. Fascinating. At least I find it fascinating. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't like certain shades of dark green, but he doesn't. Like I have this the best way I can describe it, it's like if a hoodie and a sweater had a baby. It's like a pullover like sweater with a hood. And I don't mean sweater the way British people mean it. I mean like what they would call a jumper, I guess. But it's pullover instead of opening in the front. But it's also kind of more of a shirt. I don't know. I'm like explaining it poorly. And it has buttons, but they don't go all the way down. I don't know. Anyway, I actually really like it, but he doesn't really care for it because of the color. It's super soft though. I do wish it was bigger because I've had that thing for I don't even know, almost a decade. It's embarrassing. And obviously no one stays the same size they were in middle or high school, so that's been fun dealing with the realization that I may not be able to fit it someday, but I just love that shirt so much and he's just like I don't care for it. Which is fine. Which is fine. You got distracted by the word British? Why? I was talking about the same thing. Somehow you got distracted by the word British, of all things. Which means you've probably gotten distracted 3 separate times just now, but whatever. You like to imagine the accent. So what, your brain just loses focus of everything else? Also, am I the only one who, like, tries to get Halloween candy early for people, but then you end up eating some of it and it's like, oops. Is that just me? I've I might have eaten 2 bars out of our. We're gonna have to get more. We're gonna have to get another assortment. I am curious. Do I have an accent? If I do, what does it sound like? One of the lucky people who doesn't like sweets, I guess, because sugar is pretty addictive. I don't want to use that word lightly because addiction's an illness that a lot of people struggle with, but sugar is a hell of a drug in and of itself. Just tries to kill you in a different way than like meth or whatever. Yeah, I remember back in the day when I was like first. I don't want to like bore you with the details or feel you to feel like I'm like just shoving stuff down your throat. So I'll try to keep it like brief and vague. But I remember when I was first like really getting into the religion I have now, um a few years ago, I would do like a sweet fast, which is like instead of doing a total fast where you fast, a sweet fast was just supposed to be like you don't have like desserts and sweets and sugary foods and drinks for like whatever the length of it was, a week, a month, whatever. And it was supposed to be like an act of devotion. And I remember how hard it was to do that. Because once you like really get into having sugar and you have a little bit of sugar, you just want more and more sugar, which is why I use the word addiction, even though it's a strong word, to talk about people's relationship with sugar. Because obviously it's not the same as trying to stop using cocaine or something, but it's still incredibly difficult to like kind of wean yourself off of it if that's something you want to do. And it was just so hard to do those sweet fasts because it would just, the less sugar I had, the more I craved. It was wild. It was a difficult time. God. You said every time my BF talks, he has to stop and make sure I'm paying attention to his words instead of accent. Wow, so you just go off and don't even listen to him sometimes? You're just like in a daze daydreaming about how his voice sounds? Okay. Footsteps, eh? What is it with ghosts and footsteps? Why is everyone always like, and then I heard footsteps? Like, what, why? Why do they do that? Like, is it just one of the main ways they manifest themselves? Cause y'all, it can't always be the pipes. Like, I don't know how many times I've heard someone say it's the pipes. Legitimately, in all the years I've lived in like, God, how many places have I lived? I'm not gonna tell you where I live, but just like one, two, three, four, um, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I've lived in like 9 or 10 places. I have never once heard my pipes bang. I have lived in 9 or 10 places for my entire life because I'm in my 20s. I won't give you an exact age. I'm over 20, under 30. Um, because that's a whole decade age range. But I have never once in my life heard pipes bang. So why the hell people always use that as an excuse to brush off ghosts, I could not tell you because I've literally never heard it happen. I've lived in an old house that was like 30 to 50 years old. I have lived in apartments, I've lived in new builds, I've lived in old dormitories that have been there for 100 years and I've never fucking once heard any kind of shit from the pipes. So I don't know why that's used as an excuse. Which begs the question of why the fuck are ghosts always walking around banging around in the house? Because if it's not the pipes, what are they doing? Where do they need to go? Like, where do y'all need to go so urgently? Why are y'all pacing? Are y'all okay? Like, what is going on with the ghost? I want to know why they are, why they're doing this. You said, sorry, going back to what you said about his voice, you said it's not your fault he sounds sexy. Oh, Magic Cat, never change. Anyway, it is. Oh, and I didn't realize you replied with "It's a little sweet." I guess Magic Cat said Ghost needs to walk too, apparently. But why? It's not like you need to get your steps in. You're dead. You don't need to lose weight. You're dead. You don't need to keep up your bone health. You're dead. Like, you don't have to worry about blood clots and circulation because you're dead. What the fuck are they doing? Like, I'm confused. I want it to make sense. Magic had said I'm being rude to the spirits. I'm genuinely curious. I'm just like, what are they doing? Like, I'm not trying to make it a big deal, but I also don't understand what it is with the footsteps. There's always someone saying they heard footsteps. I just don't. You said if they need to walk, doesn't that mean they can't go through stuff like doors? See, this is why this is confusing. Like, what is what? It's like, do they need to walk or are they just able to make sounds? Like, I don't. Like, is it an echo of? Is it in a place, is it usually in places where people lived before and it's just an echo of their previous life, like what they did every day? Um, Magic Cat said, "Don't you know floating takes energy and making noises doesn't?" What? Maybe it's the ones that make footsteps are stronger manifestations. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I just really don't know what to say. And I have had my door, for instance, mysteriously open and close here, but I'm pretty sure the door frame is just warped or like uneven or something. Like it's not that deep, like it's not good. They should feel judged because I feel confused. I'm especially judging the people who always put it on the pipes when literally I've lived in 10 different places, some of them incredibly old, and I've never had a pipes issue where the pipes were banging or whatever. Like, that's, as far as I've experienced, that's not a thing. Like, I've just never had the pipes somehow apparently make all that racket. Like, it just don't make sense to me. Like they always insist it can't be ghost because pipes, but I've never seen it happen. My family's never seen it happen. Like it never happened in my grandparents' house. Like I just, what are they talking about kind of thing. You said you feel like you've only had bangy pipes when living in old cities. I've never, maybe it's because I've never really lived in a large city, like a major city. But yeah, I'm always confused about what they mean because it doesn't happen for me. So you have dealt with pipes like that. Well, let me ask you something. Does it even sound like footsteps? Because I don't understand how they could say that one sounds like the other to begin with. Because isn't the sound of a footstep pretty distinctive? Like, shouldn't you know what a footstep sounds like, kind of thing? Not you personally, but like the general you. Like, that always throws me off because it's like, but shouldn't we know what footsteps sound like? Like, I don't know. It just seems a little too specific. You said it sounds more like a metal bowl falling. Then why do they keep insisting they're the same? Like, to me, those two things, like metal hitting something, like you said, and someone walking, they sound different. They sound different. Plus, because I have cats, I always hear like running and footsteps over me all the time. So first of all, I wouldn't even know if I was fucking haunted if it was based on that. But second, like I know what it sounds like to hear someone's feet running and walking across upstairs cuz like I live with other people, I live with animals, I hear them walking all the time. Like I know what footsteps sound like. So I'm just trying to figure out how crashing metal and footsteps sounds the same. Because you said it sounds like a metal bowl hitting something. Like you said it's the sound of metal hitting something. How do those sound the same? Because to me they don't. Like footsteps are very distinctive. I know what footsteps sound like. I live, I've have lived and do live with more than one person, so it's just like, why would they say that? I don't know. Lived in places with creaky floorboards because humidity makes it make sounds. See that is understandable. I just don't understand how they're saying the other thing. But yeah, that's totally understandable. Oh, I'll have to let it. I'll let an anemone go, I guess. I thought I had enough empty spaces. My bad. Magic Cat saying she's a spirit lawyer. She always says I bully spirits. I don't think I do. Do you think I'm a spirit bully? I don't think I am. She always insists I'm a spirit bully, but I don't think so. Do I have to go back in the water just to get around this spot? Wow, okay. I'm leaving a spot empty just in case I need to catch something, because I'm sure I inevitably will. Whether that's a fish or whether that's a bug, I feel like I'm gonna need to catch something. Also, yeah, we end up talking about like rants and tangents and all kinds of things all the time, so just don't even sweat it. We didn't even get to read the story yet. I just read the title and we started talking about the footsteps in the pipes. Still ghost related, but yeah, I just you're right. It just I it's weird. I don't get it either. Magic Hat, no I do not. I am not a spirit bully. Magic Cat said her ghost clients want $1,000 for emotional damage. Ah, selling my one acorn over here. I thought we would catch something on the way back, which is why I left the blank spaces, but then we didn't. So that's fun. Yeah, you're right about what did you say? What did you say something about? Oh, you said you believe that spirits manifest from okay, and take the form of whatever they think they should. Yeah, I have heard of spirits manifesting in different ways for different people. But you said that's a lot of emotional damage. For real, she always insists I'm like bullying the poor spirits, but I don't think that's the case. Weak. They're just weak. Kidding. This honestly seems like it's related to the person who was talking earlier about their. Because they're talking about grandfather's house in Sweden all over again, but it's a different post. Unless multiple people have grandfathers in Sweden. Wow. How am I. Hold on. I was like, how am I so shit at this? It usually does not take this much to catch something. There we go. The grandfather capital of Reddit. You said now they'll start using wheelchairs because you judge their walking, and then you said wheelchair spirits would be extra cool. Getting run over by ghost wheelchair. The wheelchair should have flames on it, like the Ghost Rider thing. Do y'all remember the God, it was years ago. It was a movie that was based on like a comic. Do y'all remember at all? Am I just talking to myself now? Um, do y'all remember? And he had the motorcycle with the flames, and he was like a vigilante kind of, and he did some kind of like deal with the devil, like I don't know. Yes, with Nick Cage, yes. What do you mean that would cost a lot of ghost money? I can't even say dead people don't have money because there's a lot of traditions and like cultures and religions where they do in fact have like money for like spirits, like their spirit money that you burn as offerings. Because my husband's family, they have that as part of their like traditions, their heritage. There's like spirit money that you can like burn for like gods and ancestors and things, so that they have money to spend over there. Yep, that's one of them. That's not theirs specifically, but if they do that too, I would not be surprised. Because that's primarily, I don't know if it's exclusively Japanese or primarily Japanese, but yes. But yeah, they have like the spirit money too, and so dead people do technically have money, like depending on the depending on the tradition, they are not broke. Okay, this is only slightly related, but if I did ever need a wheelchair, I feel like I would want like some cool like what's the word? Like spokes on it, some like flames and stuff on the design. I don't know. You're right. I'd want it to look like I don't know. I just feel like I'd be really invested in how it looked, you know? I'd want it to look cool. That's what I'm trying to say. I want it to look badass, you know? You said true ghosts richer than us. I mean, technically, they do get money from the living all the time. There's also multiple cultures where you're supposed to like leave out food offerings for them so that they can eat. Don't ask me how they eat, but that's a thing too. Does inflation affect dead people? Uh, their economy is probably more stable than ours. That's so weird to say. Ah, damn it. Why did it pull away anyway? I feel like I've gotten better at fishing, but worse at catching things with the net, and it's driving me nuts. I swear we'll read this eventually, but the conversation's so good. I can't just cut it off just to read this. What about Satan? You said unless Satan is involved. I mean, some like there are a lot of traditions that don't have Satan or a Satan-like figure, but I guess I could easily see one spirit fucking up the economy though, to be fair. Yeah. In fact, a lot of traditions do have ideas of like a dynamic of good and evil, but a lot of them just see spirits as like value neutral, almost like the D&D alignment system, but like not exactly. Where it's like more nuanced and not just evil, not evil, or good, bad. There's like more than that, you know. Just different cosmologies and value systems and different things. But I suppose someone could be fucking up the spirit economy. I guess. I don't see why not. I don't know why, but I guess they could. What do they even buy though? Like, what do they, this is gonna sound mean, but what do they need? Well, I guess I specifically mean for dead people because non-dead people spirits, I guess, probably have their own society and culture. But if you're dead, what do you need money for? What are you buying? Like, I'm curious. I'm curious. Do they like buy little knit scarves in the afterlife? Like, what is going on? They show off how cool they are by having more. Oh, so it's okay. You said imagine. Now we have taxes in the afterlife. Rip. Honestly, I would be so salty if someone introduced taxes like after. You know what I mean? Like you die and you think you're done with taxes or the IRS or whatever. Wait, actually, the IRS is like an American thing, right? I don't know if anyone else has the IRS or a system like the IRS, but can you imagine? It's like, damn it, now we have ghost IRS. Yeah, I'd be pissed off. Don't carry meat at night, this one says. I mean, I feel like that's common sense just so you don't get attacked by like a bear or a wild dog or something. Like, what? It's tagged as a discussion post, but I'm so curious. Like, what? By it says RXXCHET, but I assume it's supposed to be like Ratchet or something. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, they said in my culture there's a saying slash unspoken rule where you should not carry meat, specifically fragrant meat curries or gravies at night. The saying is that the fragrance will attract the paranormal and the meat would make them linger. What? and or stick on you. I mean, I would be more worried about being mauled by a wild animal that like got the munchies, but yeah, I guess that's valid too. Anyway, not many, including myself, practice this these days, but I know a few, especially elders, still follow by this saying. The one way to surpass this rule would be to carry charcoal chunks together with the food, as it supposedly blocks off the ghosts. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure in like my tradition, charcoal is supposed to be like a cleansing element that does like draw in like negative energy or influence, not in a way of attracting it to you, but like absorbing it harmlessly so that it's not in you, if that makes sense. Anyway, um here's a story from a distant relative. At the time, she had gone to visit a friend with her husband. Okay. What she didn't know was that when she was leaving their house, her husband had accepted a bag full of mutton curry from his friend. Her husband did not believe in such stuff, as only she was superstitious. Either that or he was not. What? Oh, sorry, I added a nod in there. Either that or he was oblivious to the lore of this rule. Everything was fine until they got home. Okay, they just had an infant during that time, and the usually happy infant suddenly started screaming bloody murder, crying inconsolably. Initially, they thought she was sick or hungry and tried to give her milk and water. Can you even give babies water? The infant refused and cried adamantly. After a while, her little hands and legs started to swell up, followed by her neck and body. Are you sure she is just sick? The infant hold on. Followed by her neck and body. Relative panicked and called upon a neighbor. I suppose. Huh? Oh, they're calling the neighbor A. That's why I got confused. Because they said called upon a neighbor, comma A. So their alias is A right after they used the letter slash word A. So it threw me off. A supposedly had tendencies to sense or see the paranormal. As soon as she reached their house, and she immediately asked, "Did you bring home any food?" And though the lady said no, her husband said yes. You could imagine this poor superstitious woman's horror when she found out that her genius husband brought home meat. A requested for the husband to throw the curry away, specifically out the window. Afterwards, the infant immediately stopped crying and her swelling stopped. Now, this is very peculiar to me. Are y'all sure she didn't just have allergies? As much as I could not doubt in the slightest that the paranormal and ghosts exist, this story made me slightly skeptical. I have to add, though, it's common in my country that babies cry loudly if they're in the presence of a supernatural entity. However, my own explanation is that the smell or something in the curry could have caused an allergy in the child. See, that's what I was thinking! I'm not sure, but I've heard babies' noses and senses are more sensitive, so perhaps something could have triggered that in an infant. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the only rational explanation I have, without ruling it out as the relative lying. I would like to give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't think she lied on purpose, but I do think that back in her time, the superstitions overpowered rational science. I mean, I'm not a skeptic, but my first thought was honestly just that that poor baby's going through anaphylaxis. Please help her. Like, is that just me? I was immediately like, oh my god, that's anaphylaxis. Please help her. But also, if it was anaphylaxis, wouldn't she be dead without intervention? I don't know. Like, I was just immediately worried she had an allergy. So, hold on. You said, you're right, I'm gonna introduce taxes to dead people. No, if you don't, hold on, if you don't pay, you get sent back to Earth to pay more taxes. No! And you said, I don't think they would like it. And then, I don't like it and I'm alive. Then show it to dead people. And then finally, in response to this, I'm sorry, I'm reading them late. You said sounds like allergies. Baby also tend not to like strong smells, and curry is strong. See, this is what I'm saying. I immediately thought she had an allergy. Like, not gonna lie, I was terrified for her because I remember, apparently when I was 5, the first time I ate peanut M&Ms, I like my whole everything, like I had hives, I swole up. Luckily didn't have anaphylaxis, but everyone panicked and gave me medicine and I had swollen up and looked terrible. I guess we'll find out. Well, I guess we can't find out because we don't know them. But I was like, I guess they found out later if she had allergies because presumably it would have happened again when presented with the same ingredients, correct? Hope she didn't have to find out the hard way, aka eating it and almost dying. Honestly, that's scarier than the ghost thing. Cause like a ghost haunting you is a ghost haunting you, but anaphylaxis is just like so scary and sometimes so fast. Although it can take up to half an hour, I think, after exposure, but an instant reaction like that, terrifying. I would have been frantic to get her to the ER because I would have assumed it was allergies, like anaphylaxis, like anaphylactic shock. But also, it made me want curry. It made me want curry. I'm hungry now. I hope for her sake she grew out of it. Maybe her body was just extra sensitive as a baby and it was lessened when she started eating because that was scary. Because, yeah, we were on the same page. We were like, allergies? So I hope that shit resolved because I don't want her to die from eating her own culture's food. That would be so cruel. So I actually saw an article a few years ago about an East Asian woman. I don't remember her exact ethnicity or nationality, but it was one of the ones that eats a lot of food with soy sauce, and she developed a soy allergy as an adult. And it was just like so horrible for her. Can you imagine developing an allergy to something so central to your culture and your cuisine? What do you do? You would actually die. Cause like I there are a lot of quote unquote like Asian lumping everyone together dishes that use peanuts or different nuts, right? Um but there are also a lot that don't. Like you can find a lot of dishes without any nuts at all. But how many East Asian dishes of various cultures have soy sauce or soybeans or soy protein something as a component? Not to mention the fact that like if she wanted to be vegan or vegetarian, do you know how many substitutes for like meat have soy as a base? Plus soy milk? Like she's just so fucked. Like what does she eat now? It's terrifying. You said I don't know if it counts as an allergy, but I'm sick. I can't eat chocolate if it gets worse. Huh. You said beans forever. Yeah, she's doomed. Cuz I know it might not seem like a big deal to people who don't eat soy sauce, but thinking about the sheer amount of soy sauce that I've seen my husband's family use soy sauce in so many dishes. I mean, heck, when I make him rice in the rice cooker, I put soy sauce in it to flavor it. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, she couldn't even eat at my house. She would die. I don't know if it's any better or worse if it's like the less pure kind, but hey, hun, I don't know what you're saying, babe. Magic Cat's never had soy sauce? I've had the store-bought soy sauce. Yeah, I haven't had the like pure one, but she's never had any at all. So, we were talking about that lady that developed an allergy to soy sauce. Yeah. He said it's not for me. I bet not. I don't know how many times I've seen him try to like make a sauce that includes soy sauce when we have like something dunkable or dippable or when we have dumplings or something. Oh my god, just the different dumpling sauces. Anyway, I do think you should try soy sauce one day. Even if it's just the store-bought variety, the like common one instead of the like really pure like artisanal one, the more authentic one. To be fair, I haven't had the more authentic one, but ooh, hold on. That's fair. Yay! He got me peaches. And kiwi? Ah, I'm being spoiled. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Oh, okay. Good. I like the yellow ones better than the white ones. We're talking about they cost 8 times more? I didn't know that. They taste 8 times better though. Magic has said not fair, I want some peaches. I mean, if you could fly to America in the next 5 minutes, sure. I love how ambiguous America is too, because you have North, Central, and South America. But yeah, peaches. You like the yellow better. See, this is what I'm saying. The yellow peaches are better than the white peaches. You said the. Hold on. Why did you have to mispronounce it like that? And okay, you didn't need to tell me. Okay. He's being weird and telling me all the things he got when he was at the store. But yes, they're juicier, they're sweeter. I don't know if I've noticed a texture difference, but I believe you. Oops. Well, I'm not getting that. You said, I guess, to the soy sauce that you're interested, but you don't want to go off track with food. I don't honestly even know if you can get it where you live, because I don't know if you can even find soy sauce in Oman. He is. He was so excited. He was like, I got a fire extinguisher. Because he got a new fire extinguisher, and also he got me peaches. And, so I'm not any type of Asian, but he's like introduced me to like different food his family makes. I didn't actually I had never tasted duck before we got together. So he introduced me to duck meat, and I love the way that it gets seasoned at this one place we go to. Cause like all the other Asian people go there, so you know it's good shit. Like it's not the like crappy stuff they make for Americans. Um and it was just so good. Oh my god, the skin, the fat. Sorry for the vegans, but it was just so good. Anyway, he got really excited just then because he found some like duck legs while he was at the store and he showed them to me. And he's excited about eating them. I mean, I am too. Duck is really good, but yeah. It really is. Duck's one of my favorite things to eat, not gonna lie. Let me just make sure I'm not selling. I don't want to sell something that I didn't mean to sell, so I'm just making sure the little circles are clicked on the right things. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I had never tasted duck or duck eggs before, but I've obviously had duck and duck eggs now, just not before, you know? Mm, that sounds good. His family, they're also the reason that I've tried jellyfish. I actually liked it. I don't know what kind it was, but yeah. Duck, jellyfish, hell, I hadn't even tried lobster before I met them. So, the jellyfish was one of the more interesting ones though, just because of the texture, you know? Oh, and chicken feet, which sounds like so basic, but I had never had chicken feet before. It's embarrassing. I'm not even white, but I just it probably sounds like it, but I'm not even white. I just had not had those before, and it's just been such a nice experience eating. You said you could guess now, probably. I mean, it's not a like secret, but probably. Because he was born here, but his parents are immigrants. So they make everything like they would in the old country, and it's just so good. But anyway, um, mm. What gets me though is like as far as I know, like the rest of his family's okay with spicy food, but he can't take it, and it just kills me. Because I can handle spicier food than him. So it's always funny when he's like, I think this one's spicy. Do you want to take it? And I'll eat the other one. And it's just like, sure, babe. Uh, oh, and I found a newfound. Wow, I'm not even making sense. I gained a newfound love of bamboo because, like, obviously that's not something a lot of Americans from certain other cultures would like eat or taste. And I didn't realize that I was going to like bamboo so much, but I do. Sorry, it was just really good. Of course, the way his mom makes it is different from the way the restaurant makes it, but I like both of them. I think they're technically different kinds too. I think aren't there like 30 kinds of bamboo or something like that? Oh, it was my fishing rod that broke, my bad. Mm. Mm. And then there's just like really simple stuff that doesn't have a lot of flavor that I found out that I really liked too, like just the like simple like what's it called? Like rice porridge, the like soupy soft. Like I didn't expect to like it so much, but it's actually really nice. Very simple, not a lot to it, but I even like that. Like obviously I like things with flavor too, but I don't know. There's just I feel like there's so much I like now that I had never tried before or just didn't think about before. It's nice. Yes. Mm. It's also, I would assume, because it's easier on your stomach, one of the things that you're able to keep down better when you're sick too. Kind of like how a lot of Americans would eat like saltines, I guess, except better than saltines. And now my net's gone. Cool. That's fun. All my stuff just keeps. I didn't expect it to break that fast. I did expect it to break. Also, one of my favorite things, one of my favorite things that they do with bread is the steamed buns. Hello, hon. Again. Got everything? Oh, I didn't realize that's what you were doing. Holy crap. Did I just catch a ray? Nice. And the other thing I like about the buns is that you can kind of put whatever you want in them. Like you can put anything in a bun and it's probably going to taste good. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Mm. I know he really likes the barbecue pork buns. Mm. Of course, since I have a sweet tooth, I like the like what's it, custard ones, but I like the meat ones too. And some of them just have vegetables in them, so that's totally fair. Not everyone is a self-proclaimed carnivore, but you said he has good taste. Is this like too close to my? It's probably too close to the workbench. Wait, that's 4 pieces of wood though. Where's the... Whatever. Hold on. I forgot which of these broke. Oh, maybe it was a shovel that I wanted to make. I don't think I have enough wood for that. Oh well. I'm gonna give up. It's okay. Cause everything broke recently, but I was trying to remember what broke last. Yeah, I feel like I got worse at catching bugs and better at catching fish. I don't even know how that happened. Net broke, but I had two. Oh, that makes sense. I usually try to carry two because of how easily they break. Yeah. Oh, I know what else I was gonna do. I was gonna check to see if I'd ever caught a ray before, because I feel like I have, but I also can't remember it. Because I always need two. I need one for myself and I need one for Blathers. Okay, let's see. Oh, crap. It looks like it was new, so I can't sell that. I have to give it to Blathers. Yeah, there he is. That's okay. That's okay. Yes. I'm putting it to the side so I don't accidentally sell it. I mean, I guess I could just go now. I need to turn in, was it a grasshopper or a cricket? I need to turn in one of those as well, so. Because I don't think I've given him one. Something about a migratory one. It's kind of cute. Yeah, so I should actually have two things to give him. Hmm? Sometimes I forget how long this beach is. Was it closer to my house? It might have been closer to my house. Yep, there it is. Um, I don't actually remember when I created it, but this is my like first file, first play, first island. But it's where I live. It's just it's also been a while. I kind of neglected it for like probably 2 months and it looked like trash. Did I pick it up or what? Nope, I missed it. Oh, I don't have a shovel. Okay, change of plans. I'm gonna go in my house, get some wood, make a shovel, dig up the money spot so I can get a money tree, and then go to the museum. Hopefully it'll still be there. I don't think it'll move. God. This is what happened when you don't keep wood on you. But I needed the space. Okay, so I may have a lot of wood. I don't actually remember. I should have looked up the recipe beforehand. Oop. Okay. I know. I did a lot of harvesting for. Was it a badge or for the store? Maybe both. And I just ended up with a crap ton of wood. Okay, what was I looking for? Right. Shovel recipe. Just because I don't want to go out of the menu, I'm being slightly lazy. Because I can't remember which wood it is. It's one of them. 5 hardwood pieces. Okay. So that's the stuff. I'm just going to take out the whole thing. It'll be fine. There we go. I'm not even gonna bother putting it back because I might need a second one, so it's fine, whatever. I also kept 10 of every single like fruit or like various things that I have planted just so that if the original plants die for whatever reason, I don't just lose that crop. Well, except these. I didn't really care as much about those, but where was it? Oh crap. Ah. Okay, so the money's further to the right, but I see a bug. It's hard for me to see because of the green on green. Oh, wow. This is what I'm saying. I feel like I got worse at this. You take 2 months off from Animal Crossing and then suddenly you can't catch anything. Whatever. Alright, where was the money spot? Here. Yeah, I don't want to lose that. Let's try to get a money tree. It is cute. It is. There we go. Now we will get money tree. Oh, I might as well take the fossil on the way too, right? Okay. I don't even know if it's still back here. I kind of lost track of it. Oh, and then I stepped over it. Cool. That's fun. There we go. Jesus. I feel like I got so much rice grasshopper. Did she really just call it a gluten-free alternative? I hate some of her puns so much. Okay. Museum time. Museum time. Wait, what is this? I probably left it out for a reason, so I'm just gonna take that too. Oh. Hey, Blathers? Hey. I know he's nocturnal, but I feel like he should leave someone awake for this. I actually don't know how many fossils I brought him. Okay. So does he have... We already have one? Really? Well, I guess I'm selling it. I don't want it. Let's see. I should have at least... Yep, there's the rice grasshopper, and there's the migratory locust. There we go. And the ray. Is that the same? Yeah, that's the same kind. Okay. Come on, Blathers. I guess the only good thing about giving him stuff in bulk is that he doesn't want to give an explanation for each one. I guess they knew we wouldn't have the patience for that much dialogue. I mean, I wouldn't have the patience for that much dialogue, but maybe that's just me. I'm sure he's relieved too, because he said that he hates giving explanations on the, like, insects that we bring in, so... More stuff than ever. This is true. You have the tiger in your house. He has his own shrine room. What now? Give me a second. What do you mean you had to annoy a kid you know? Also, I feel like I have a tiger like this. Yeah, I think I have one. How much does it cost? Oh, it doesn't even cost that much. Hold on. I want to see if it's the same one. What do you mean, good job, show the kid whose paws? Yeah, I figured you meant your Animal Crossing house. I love their little Halloween design in their shop display, though. What now? What is that? Oh, I didn't know what I was looking at. Sorry, he was. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. He was showing me some ramen he bought. Mm, the one with the was it pork cutlet, right? He's not sure if it actually has it in it or if it's like flavored by slash with it. What do you mean you just told him you signed adoption papers? What? You don't have to do that for me. I can. I'm sorry. I guess I took too long. Here he is. See? That's the same one, isn't it? I mean, I guess there's no reason I can't have two, but it is cute. I'm thinking about getting two. I might put the other one right beside. I don't really need to, but what? Aw, he making fun of me. What's the present, by the way? Oh, oh, that's helpful. Your wallet's full. No more will fit. Wait, what was the last part? Between how expensive stuff is anyway and inflation, you probably didn't get as much as you should have with that amount, but it's not your fault. Cake? Go ahead and take it out. We'll have it, we'll just have it today if it's still good. I honestly wasn't sure if it was still good yesterday, because I thought about eating some, but I was like, is it even still good? Why do I just have... I'm so sorry. I just have all this random crap out here. I should honestly put these up in my house. They just keep... They keep leaving me... Like, different people give me stuff, and then I get stuff in the airdrops, and then I just leave it everywhere because I don't know what to do with it. Imagine having too much money, you say. I wish I knew what that felt like. My husband said me too. Oh, and then Magic Cat said, in referring to the child she was tormenting earlier, he likes to annoy me. So I told him before I'm adopting him so he can be respectful towards me since I'm older than him. No, I've never used a fire extinguisher. When would I have had training for that? Please tell me when I would have training for that.
Rip this off, pull this pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze trigger.
Okay.
Aim the nozzle at the base of the fire.
Base of fire. I guess that makes sense because that's what's actually burning at its core. Duh. But yeah.
Did you not do any of that fire stuff while you were at school?
School?
Yeah.
Like regular school before university? Because
Yeah,
no.
university.
No, we didn't do that either. I didn't do it at either place.
In the open multiple times a year.
Oh, I never saw it. I've literally never saw it, hun. Never saw it and never had training anywhere else. Also, I'm gonna buy the tiger. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep is what they said. Yes.
Spray sweep. PASS. There's one under the sink.
Yeah. Yeah, because we did already have one down here, but I'm not sure like how old it is. For instance, is this literally just a like a clothing display or a towel rack or something? What do you mean you forgot how to do it, but you knew? LOL. I've just yeah. That moment with my husband was the extent of my training, so that's fun. Is that like how long it takes them to be effective, or how long they work, or what? Are they the same kind? I assume, since they're for the kitchen. Okay. Cause, excuse me, I know like one basic thing I know is that different fires require different like what do you call the material? The putting out material. I know they require different things. That's it. That's what I know. You know something, he says. Yes, I do. Not much though. Trash, flammable liquids, and electric. Well, let's. Where was I going with this? I think I was gonna say something like that's one way to go with it. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. My bad. Different classes of fire. Yes. He's talking about one he thinks that we still technically need. Magic Hat said she needs a training course. I guess for like doing the thing. I don't know. Like fires, fire hazards, fire extinguishers, I guess.
I mean, if it's someone else's property, just run away.
Oh, that's mean. He said if it's someone else's property, just run away.
Well, depending on what country you're in, you may have different legal ramifications if you do something.
Are you saying someone would be mad that you put out the fire? Like I'm supposed to let your shit burn on principle? I'm so confused. What do you mean yes? What? That seems so disrespectful. It's like, yeah, I was there. I just didn't do shit.
Yes. Well,
I don't
I
know.
told you it depends on your legal ramifications.
Legal ramifications, jeez. Why are people like this? Like, I get them not wanting you to run in, for instance, because that can just create more work for people who are trying to rescue or put out the fire. But I just don't understand why they would penalize you for it. I understand why it might be a stupid idea, because, like, you don't want to get caught up in it, you don't want to get trapped or burned or whatever, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like, why are they mad about it, I guess? There he is. Now we have one on each side of the door. Love it.
Your present is here.
Yay! I forgot what my present was. Oh, the cleaning thingy. Right. Steam
You're gonna
cleaner.
die.
Yeah, he he bought me a steam cleaner so that I can clean things without dying now.
It'll just be hot and steam.
Yeah, it'll just be really hot. Cause I have really sensitive airways, so I can't use harsh chemicals. Like I can't clean with bleach or ammonia anymore because it just like kills
You
me.
can't clean with soap without diluting it, fucker.
Yeah, they would know that from me if you didn't interrupt me all the time. I was gonna say I had to start using industrial strength like dish detergent to clean instead because it still cleans but it's less harsh. But it's gotten to the point after I am I allowed to say this? It got to the point where after I caught COVID where I couldn't even use soap to clean without just getting really sick and not being able to breathe. So he got me a steam cleaner so I can clean without dying now. in my present. Yay. Because I clean the house. So, and it would be nice to clean without having an asthma attack or feeling like I'm suffocating. That would be nice. I can also clean what? Oh, he's saying it also works on the floor. Yeah, I think it did say that. It also said it works on fabric like beds and couches and something about it working on the wall. I don't know. It's kind of all purpose. There's just like different heads. Magic Cat said, "Where's your robot?" He said which one? I haven't gotten an answer. I'm sorry. He looked at me and I was like, I don't know. She didn't say anything. Yeah, the little like he's not a cuz Roomba's a brand, right? He's not a Roomba. He's a shark. But it's like basically what a Roomba is if it was a different brand. So he's still here. He's actually outdated. He's considered an old model, but he's a little old man. Bruce, yes, Bruce. Our little Bruce. His name is Bruce. He's our little cleaner bot. But see, he's for like sweeping up trash, like dirt, crumbs, whatever. I mean, not really dirt from outside because like Asian house, so we take our shoes off at the door, but just like stuff still builds up, dust, dead skin, pieces of food. Stuff probably still falls off your clothes when you come in, stuff like that. So he just sweeps up after us. That's what he does. Magic Hat said he's her favorite, so we better not get rid of him. you, he said we might get Bruce 2.0, so he might get to retire, I guess. Or would they both still be working? Oh, he said if he got Bruce 2.0, it would be a mop with the vacuum. Wait, really? You can do that? Huh. Oh, shit. Never mind. He said that one's like 1500 bucks. Well, I know it's doable, but I don't know. I would feel like I don't know if I would want to spend that much money on it even if I could afford it. I don't know. It seems like a lot when I could just do the floor. I don't know. I'm not lazy. Mm, I'm not. Okay. Also, is there a hole back here or not? I can't tell, and it won't show me. I can't tell if I filled the hole in or not. Whatever. You said the soul from my first computer actually moves to my new one whenever I build one. Well, I hope it likes you. So maybe you're saying Bruce's spirit will move into the new robot if we get one. Wait, can we just buy an infinite number of tigers that day? Like if I come back, there's another one? That's wild. That being said, I can't just sit here buying tigers for 30 minutes, so thug life. Yes, did you find out you did actually burn your hand or what? Well, that basically just covered the cost of the tiger we just bought. Hmm. I'm actually using my husband's computer that I got for him as a present one year to stream right now. It seems to like me pretty well, I guess, even though I'm not its like primary person. Well, I use it the most, but it doesn't belong to me. I'm like explaining this super poorly. Cuz he usually games on his PC even though this is a gaming laptop, whatever. I told mom she asked me to use papers instead of hand contact, so I did that. So I did to heat up tea. Ha, I got both of them. Okay, maybe I'm not as bad at this as I thought earlier from how I was doing. I do love that I get more bugs because of the flowers, but when you tried to get rid of the fire, it got bigger. I feel like that's not what people want to hear slash see. You try to put out a fire and it just gets bigger instead of going out. I would panic. So you're not supposed to do, but I feel like I would. Where do these bugs even come from? Like it just flew in from somewhere. You panicked and thought you were gonna burn the kitchen. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, I would have panicked. Not that you're supposed to, it's just I feel like I would have. It's selected, but for some stupid reason I still always go through the menu. I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm not efficient. Oh, crap. It's probably gonna die, isn't it? Yep, it died. They drown themselves if you don't get there fast enough. Isn't it fun? By fun, I mean terrible. I don't personally know why they put that function in, but they did. You had to put it on the floor and hit it. No. I'm just imagining you beating the crap out of something on the floor trying to get it to stop burning. Which is probably fairly accurate now that I think about it. I'm not close enough. There we go. Right. I mean, technically, one way to put out a fire is to beat it. Because you're essentially. How do I explain this? I'm bad at explaining things. Because one way to put out a fire is to smother it, right? To deprive it of the oxygen it needs to burn. Which is why, like in movies, you'll see people putting stuff over it. But and of course, some fires don't actually get put out by water, and water makes it worse. Lovely. I think those tend to be grease fires, but I'm not entirely sure. And then there's just different chemicals that burn at different temperatures, and some of them can't be put out at all, and you just have to let them burn out. It's actually kind of terrible. And those are usually the really bad ones that you don't want in the environment anyway, so yeah. So like that's why he got the fire extinguisher and like why it's quote unquote special cuz like we cook with open flame, right? It's not electric. We have open flame, so he got like a special one in case there's any fires in the kitchen. Chemical and electric are extra bad ones, you said. Yeah. I remember one time we were having some kind of electrical issue where I lived where I was growing up and they weren't really wanting to come out and like didn't seem all that concerned. I don't know why. But as soon as my mom said she was worried that there was something that could start an electrical fire, they came out immediately. Cause she was like, she said something about how she was worried an electrical fire would start in the wall if they didn't come over. I don't even know what was broken, but that's how she got them to come out because they didn't want to come out. I don't even know why they didn't want to come out, honestly. Could not tell you. Yeah, then they start zooming. They're like, oh shit. And then they were on it. Aw, I wanted to catch it. I wasn't trying to go for the tree. Oh well. Maybe I'll get an acorn. I know I have to get off soon because he's gonna want to eat. But he said he brought back ribs, so I assume we'll be eating that, so I don't have to cook this time. And I already made mashed potatoes the other day, so we can just heat that up too. Yes, ribs. Yes. Okay. Oh, we did actually have something for Blathers. I totally forgot about that. Because I can probably go to the store one more time. Gotta visit Blathers. I don't really want the conversation to end, but it has been 3 hours, and, well, we are both hungry, so I'll just wrap up. It's probably still going to take me 5 or 10 minutes, but I'll go ahead and wrap up. Wow. Yeah, I feel like I've gotten worse at that. You said timing's perfect. You have to go soon too. Ah, yes. But next time. You said you tried picking it up, but it made it worse because your cat got in the way? Okay, that's kind of horrifying. Shouldn't the cat have been repelled by the fire? Like I thought animals had like a natural disinclination towards being near like fire or extreme heat. What is going on? Your cat has no self-preservation instincts. You said cats are definitely special. I know one of my cats thinks everything is food, and one day he may actually die that way because he thinks he has to tear into everything that's even vaguely in a bag because a bag must mean food, right? Wrong, dumbass. I don't know why he's like this. Um, okay, so one of my ex friends, we're not friends anymore, but one of my ex friend's cats decided that it's a good idea to get on the stove while the food is cooking to try to get into the pots. And she put her paw on the burner and it took a chunk out of her paw. And she actually never walked on the stove after that. I don't know if it was traumatizing or if she's one of the cats that just actually learned, hey, don't do stupid shit, but she never tried that again. Update on your cat's favorite drink. Oh, also, you haven't been here a long time, but Magic Cat's, one of Magic Cat's is like spoiled and likes to eat cake or something, and I'm just like, bro, they're not supposed to have that much human food. And she just gives it to him anyway because he's a brat and he cries and she spoils him. But anyway, he likes mango milk. What on earth? What fresh hell is this? Are they even allowed to have mangoes? I have to check insects and see if I. Yep, he's had one. Okay. Yeah, she's always talking about how weird her cat is. I don't know how I missed that, but whatever. You looked it up. Apparently, it's okay. I mean, I found out that it's actually like okay, as in it won't like make them sick or kill them. I found out it's okay to put a tiny bit of coconut oil on their fur when you're brushing them. Because I would have thought something like that would be like toxic, but they're like, no, it won't make them sick. At least if you know, the source was to be believed. Because one of my friends was like looking up ways to make brushing her cat easier or something like that. I didn't know. It's one of the days where I didn't know what to call the video, so I just put something random. I love that that's how you found me. I'm living. Did I ever best title you say? Because I think my very last video title was something about how my island looks like trash because I neglected it for 2 months, which was true, and the weeds are still bad. Um, but before that, it was just it was on a front suggested page. I wonder why. I'm literally just going back for my wood and my branches. But wow, I kind of love that. What? Aw, YouTube actually did something for me for once. Love to see it, because I'm not monetized on YouTube. And I don't get paid very much here, so, I mean it when I say that. I make like $5 or $10 a month, so, broke streamer. Um, It is. Yeah, it is. I'm not big at all, which is probably evident by my watch number, but it's like I do make money, I just don't make a lot of money. Like I would literally be so happy just to make $500 a month. Like I'm not one of those people that expects to be like a millionaire or whatever. If I could make 500 a month, I would be pleased. But right now, I am making between 5 and $10. I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. That's what I make a month. It's sad. It really is. Oh, that's what I do. I didn't put up my money. It's okay. I don't know if I'm going to end here or put up my money, but don't feel obligated. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. What do you mean you'll miss me, Magic Cat? I'm not like disappearing. Oh, do you mean when I leave in a minute? Because the only thing I have left is to put my money in the bank. Because I forgot to do that the first like 3 times. Oh, you two are both so sweet. One of you saving for a sub, and one of you saying you like me more than the big streamers. I mean, the nice thing about being a tiny nobody is that whoever comes into chat can get your personalized attention. Because you know how when they have like 1,000 people in chat, they can't talk to everyone. There's like a message every second. They have 80 moderators. Like, this is kind of nice in that if I want to talk to someone, I can actually like keep up and talk to who I want to talk to. And I talk to you directly. Yeah, so I do like that. I just also wish I could make a little bit more money. Like if I could make enough on here that it was like a part-time job, that would be great. But currently it's like between 5 and 10 a month, which is not going to support anyone unless you literally live in a country where everything costs 1 cent. So, I mean, I would love for that. Like I never expect to actually get big, but if I could just make something off of this, that would be nice. Something more substantial. But I do like the personal environment of being smaller. Like I actually know people's names. I know when someone's like regular, if they've been here before, if it's been a while. I do like that. Of course, some people like the bigger ones because you can kind of get like lost in the crowd and you like, when someone has social anxiety, they don't stand out, they don't want attention called to them kind of thing. But I feel like this is good for that too, but also if you want attention. But I'll go ahead and get off. It was really nice to chat with both of you today, though. I mean, there's someone else like lurking who never said anything, so I don't actually know who else was here, but yeah. I mean, I know your screen names and nicknames. I don't know your like legal slash government names, but yeah. Extra cute. I mean, sometimes my husband watches, but I don't think it was him. Because usually he says something. He'll say like meow or bark and then lurk. Because he's weird. Um, so if it was him, he would have done that. So I don't know who it was. Because you always know when it's him. Because he always comes on just to make an animal noise. Because he's weird like that, but I love him. He's the best. He cares. He said, yeah, he's a very specific brand of weird, but I do like it, so it's okay. I did not realize that I dropped something on this earlier, so you hear me scrubbing it in the background. Anyway, I won't hold you up any longer because I know that at least one of you has to go soon. Oh, did you get the link to the Discord if you wanted to be there? No pressure, you don't have to be. It's tiny and quiet, so it's not like you're gonna be thrust into a huge group. I think there's like 20 people there, to be honest. Like there's not really anyone there anyway, but if you want, actually, let me just invite you directly. Yeah, it's really quiet. I feel like nothing ever really happens, but put it there anyway. Copy link. Mm, there we go. Yeah, you did. But that was kind of what's the word? Like an accident, like a quirk of fate or whatever, because you got locked out of your account. But yeah, I mean, the good thing is since it's quiet, there's like no drama. There's like a channel for like cursed like photos and videos, not in a literal sense, but like wow, that's cursed. And there's one for like wholesome stuff and one just for like topics that come up on stream. I don't know. Yeah, there's not a lot to it. I'm open to suggestions too. Just like try not to be I mean, I know you're not like this, but basic rules. Don't try to be offensive or creepy. Dim's the basic rules. Don't be offensive, don't be creepy. That's it. There's not much to it. Anyway. I think it's said in like a PG-13 way. It's like what was it? Smash Mary Kill. But yeah, there was a channel for that cuz it came up during one stream and then it came up again. It hasn't come up in a few months though, so yeah. Don't be a weirdo jerk. Got it. Yes, exactly. Don't do anything that would make me have to block, ban, or report someone. Like no, like I don't know, hate speech, communicating threats. I don't know, like just don't. Yeah, exactly. Don't be weird. Don't make it weird. Also, that was me sending the dog sticker. So, but yeah, actually today's Saturday, isn't it? I was about to say I'll be back tomorrow, but I don't usually stream on Sundays. Yeah. If I stream tomorrow, it'll be a surprise. I don't usually stream on Sunday. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Wait, you're gonna what? Spread the gospel about hating on poison ivy. Oh Lord, what did I walk into? Okay. Wait, do you mean the character or the plant? I don't know why my brain went to the character before the plant, but yeah, I'm special. It's fine. Okay. All right. Ivy, oak, and sumac. Ugh. Thank you. I will. I'll try to enjoy it for all of us, especially the duck. Okay. Ah, God, one of our friends got poison oak and it was just so gross. And he looked terrible. All right, anyway, bye. Bye for real.